At the start of last season, three men took domestic football in Australia somewhere else. One of them has gone.
Del Piero! That's what they came to see. That is the measure of the man.
Another probably won't be back.
Chance for Heskey! He's done it again against the victory, the big man.
Neither of them got a fitting farewell. As for the third, well, he'll get that farewell, and perhaps we'll get that little bit more.
Oh my goodness! Shinji Ono! Genius! You most certainly are!
Tonight, Shinji Ono says goodbye to Wonderland. A parting gift? How about a famous comeback against Sanfrecce to make the quarter-finals of the Asian Champions League? Sayonara, Shinji, and please, how about one more memory?
It would be nice. Hello and welcome to the studio for our continuing coverage of the Asian Champions League. Great to have your company. I'm Adam Peacock alongside our Champions League regulars this season, Sasha Ognanovsky, the 2010 Asian Player of the Year, and Mark Bosnich. How are we, boys?
Good, thanks, Adam. How are you, Sasha? Welcome.
Thank you.
Big, big day in football, obviously, with the Socceroos team announcement. We've got this, and then later on, the Women's Asian Cup starts in Vietnam, and Fox Sports has live and exclusive coverage, of course, of the Matildas' opening match against, ironically enough, given we've got an Australian team up against a Japanese team here, Australia and Japan. So
the world champions, aren't they?
Yes, we're looking forward to that, Bozza. But the first point from today, earlier today, before we get into the preview of what we're about to see, the Socceroos squad.
Yeah,
what do you reckon?
Well, two sides of the coin for me. Number one, it's refreshing to see a lot of youth and a lot of different names. And on the other side of the coin as well, I think it's been a little bit lopsided in that department. Would have expected a little bit more experience, especially in the defensive ranks. And I don't want to embarrass Sasha here, but I thought that he would get picked. But that wasn't the case. He's picked a 30-man squad. It's still got to go down to 23. So we're very interested to see who the final 23.
And when the 30-man squad's announced there, Sash, I mean, you knew going into today that it probably wasn't to be, or were you still holding out hope?
Yeah, no, I was pretty sure that I wasn't in the squad. Yeah, the 30-man squad got announced today. I watched the announcement, and it's good to see a lot of young, fresh faces in there. Obviously disappointed that I didn't, get to live my dream of going to a World Cup. A lot of the younger players who haven't had a lot to do with the national team have got an opportunity now to go to the World Cup, and I wish them all the best over there, and hopefully they can do as well, if not better, than the teams of the past.
That's very good.
Well said, mate.
Well done.
Good stuff. Very gracious there from Sasha Ognanovsky. Let's get into what we're about to see, of course. And we've got the full preview on the way of the Western Sydney Wanderers against Sanfrecce. Now, 14 times an Australian team has played a Champions League knockout match. Only once has a team won 2-0 or better. And that was you in 2008 in the semi-final against Bunyakor. That was 3-0. So that's what the Wanderers need to do tonight, make a little bit of history or replicate what Adelaide did back in 2008 and have a margin of 2-0 or better. 3-1, we're off to extra time, of course, and then we'll wait and see what exactly happens. So hopefully we can get the Wanderers off to a good start like they have done so many times in matches so far this season, scoring so many early goals. To tell us about the team that will take the park for the start of the match against Sanfrecce, it's a very good evening out at Parramatta Stadium to Tom Chadwick.
Thank you, Adam. As you mentioned, all on the line tonight for the Western Sydney Wanderers at a very, very chilly Parramatta Stadium. Now, despite that, I understand the Wanderers have sold something like 11,000 tickets to this match, so the atmosphere is going to be pumping. In light of that, let's get straight into the team news, starting with the home side, the Western Sydney Wanderers. Tony Popovic has made the 4 changes. Yusuf Hersi and Jerome Polence come into the 11 for their last game for Western Sydney. In fact, Jerome Polence actually tweeted he thought tonight was going to be his last match, as does Brenton Santalab, while that man, Shinji Ono, he'll wave goodbye to the Wanderers fans. He also takes his place. All of that means that Cole, Apia and Tommy Juric also drop to the bench. On to the J-League champions, Sanfrecce, Hiroshima, the ones to watch here. Now, the number 9, Ishihara, he actually scored a brace last Wednesday in the other match, and they also have 2 players who are actually going to play in the World Cup in a month's or time. So their captain, Aoyama, he'll represent Japan, while their number 2, Seok Ho, he is in the Korean squad. And Adam, if the Western Sydney Wanderers do the business tonight, well, they'll be the first A-League side since Adelaide United back in 2012 to qualify for the last 8 of the Asian Champions League. So here's to fingers crossed.
Yeah, Adelaide hold a lot of records Australian-wise in this competition. Look forward to seeing if the Wanderers can at least replicate that. The team news, guys. Sash, the Wanderers team, about as full strength as he can be, with obviously Mark Bridge, who we're going to hear from shortly, and Nikolai Topol-Stanley injured. Yeah,
it is. He's got Spear and Beach up in the back line. He's gone Hersey, Ono, Halidi and Sanalab. That's pretty much as strong a front line as he's played all year. And obviously LaRocca and Trafiro in the middle. So he's gone out there to win the game. He has to win the game. He doesn't have to win in the first minute. Can be in the last minute. But he's gone out with a positive mindset, and he's given that to his team. So he's put the team out there and he's given them a positive feel. Yeah, we'll have more preview after the break. But before we do go to the break, I've got to tell you about this. Inside Sport is on newsstands from May 22 with its special World Cup edition. The magazine's lead is a piece on the Socceroos and how they can win the World Cup. There's not many pundits giving the Socceroos much of a chance of progressing past the group stages. We're there for the duration on Fox Sports. Inside Sport also give a serious tactical breakdown of how the Socceroos might steal results against Chile, Holland and Spain. There's also a very interesting article about the culture of Brazilian football and how their love of life gives a great insight into their style of play. That's all in the June edition of Inside Sport, a special Brazil World Cup edition. Of course, we'll be there on Fox Sports News as well, with the full coverage from Brazil. We're off to a break. We'll have the full coverage as far as a preview goes for the Wanderers and Sanfrecce right after this.
No turn, Shinji Ono! Brilliant! Shinji Ono! Genius! You most certainly are! Oh no! The little genius!
Made in Japan from one of their greatest players.
Oh wow! Fantastic! Well, he scored some pretty special goals, but that one is right up there. Here's Shinji Ono! That is magnificent! Absolutely first class from Shinji Ono.
56 games for the Western Sydney Wanderers, 11 goals from Shinji Ono, and memories for a lifetime. A few defences weren't laughing about what he was doing to them on occasion, Sash, but what a player, what an incredible player, and just his technique. Every time he touches the ball, you can see it shine through. It's a shame that he has to leave now.
Fantastic player. You know, to have players of his ilk, him, Del Piero and Heskey in the A-League was amazing, not only for the players playing alongside him, players playing against him, and the fans as well. We certainly are going to miss those three names possibly, and you know, I hope he gets his fairy tale. As we know in football, not everybody does get their fairy tales, but I hope he gets his fairy tale and he gets the Wanderers into the next round.
And Boz is going to speak about him shortly, about what he means for the context of this match as well. But before we do, let's hear from the great man.
Well, Shinji, your last game for the Western Sydney Wanderers, how do you feel?
It's the same as usual. Yeah, it's the final game, but I'm looking forward to a big game. Yes.
And there's a few other players, some of your teammates also leaving the club. Bit of the end of an era, I guess.
I don't want thinking about you know the everyone leave from this club, but just I want to focus only this game, and I don't think about anything. Yeah.
Okay, pretty tough equation, of course. 3-1 in Japan last week. Are you confident you can make the quarterfinals?
I have big confidence to win 2-0, more than 2-0. Yeah, and yeah, important fast goal when we score. And just I really concentrate for fast goal.
Shinji, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Not really phased, is he? Let's go back out to Parramatta right now, and that was a short time ago. Tom Chadwick has made his way down pitch side, and he's catching up with one of the Wanderers stars. Tommy?
Indeed, thank you very much, Adam. As you mentioned, I'm joined by injured Wanderer Mark Bridge. Bridgie, thanks for joining us here on Fox Sports. Obviously, you're missing tonight due to that ankle injury sustained late in the A-League season. You must be disappointed you can't play tonight. A, it's an important game, and B, there's a few Wanderers teammates saying goodbye to the club.
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, these are the games you want to play in, the big ones where everything's on the line. And like you said, that added special bonus of the boys leaving and after having such a big impact at the club, I mean, it's a weird feeling, but I'm sure the boys will be going out there tonight to send them off on a positive note.
Okay, what about the match tonight? Of course, you're up against a 3-1 deficit. Are you confident the boys can get the job done?
I think so. I mean, look, we're definitely going to go out to win. I mean, they're a very good team. I mean, it was a very tough game last week, and I think the boys did well first half, and then second half, I mean, they got that goal off the counter, and then that second goal was brilliant. So, I mean, as long as we play our usual game and don't get caught on the counter tonight, I think we'll be all right.
Mark, on the point of everyone leaving, we know Yusuf Hersey's going to go to Perth Glory. Obviously, Shinji Ono's going. Jerome Polence tweeted tonight this could be his last game as well. Will that affect the boys in an adverse way or in a positive way, do you think?
Look, I don't think the boys will be thinking too much about that during the game. I mean, obviously we'll reflect on all that sort of stuff tomorrow and after the game, but the boys are professionals and they'll be going out there to do one thing, and that's to win.
Bridgie, Sanfrecce had a very good second half last week, but early on, do you reckon your side got a handle on where you can break them down tonight?
Yeah, look, I think so. I mean, we were shutting down crucial players in that first half, and then second half it just wasn't there. So it shows at this level when you don't stick to your script. I mean, you get punished. They're quality opposition with every player on the pitch is quality. So you need to listen to the coach's instructions, and you don't get punished.
Too easy, Bridgie. Well done in speaking to us and dealing with that PA, the world's loudest, behind you as well. Enjoy the match, mate, and have a good off-season.
Thanks, guys. Thanks very much.
That's damn hard to do when you've got the PA in the background. Is it very, very well? Yes, it is.
Okay, just let you know.
Ulrich was in the studio, so we don't know these things.
I'm listening
these days. How much will they miss him tonight? Boss?
I think they'll miss him a hell of a lot. I don't think he's played quite the same level as he did last season, but in the Asian Champions League, he's been absolutely outstanding. You know, really starting from that game, the first game they had away against Guizhou Renhe, when he scored that goal. And I think, you know, the defences do find him very difficult to play against. And as well, I'm going to talk about it later, his tracking back is absolutely outstanding. Gives a lot of protection to the defence.
Sash, what do they need to tighten up on? I mean, Ishihara, we'll speak about him shortly. He had the best second half in the history of football. It almost seen some of his goals and his movement and everything like that. But how far off were the Wanderers their best on this occasion, given the fact that it was 3 days after the grand final as well?
Yeah, they were a little bit off, especially in the second half. In the first half, they held their own. The second half, I think they were tired, and they ran out of a bit of legs, and they started defending a lot deeper, and they were punished, especially along the flanks, where usually they are very strong.
Yeah,
and this is massive, isn't it? I mean, it's 2-1, it's okay. 3-1.
Yeah, hopefully it's not going to be massive.
Hopefully it doesn't prove to be the difference.
I played in a two-legged game before, semi-final actually, when we were 3-1 down. The opposition weren't as good. Obviously, as Sanfrecce, they're a division below us. But the third goal really does make it difficult. We've just got through by the skin of our teeth in the end. But that third goal, hopefully it's not going to be massive for them.
Let's hear what the coach has to say about things. Tony Popovich.
Well, Tony, a fairly simple equation at the moment anyway. Need to win by 2 goals or more. Are you confident?
Yeah, we are confident. You know, the players have trained very well this week. They've recovered well. They're looking forward to the game. You know, we're playing at home. We'll have a great crowd here supporting us. You know, we're playing a great side as well, you know, the J-League champions, and it's a great stage to play at, and the players are looking forward to that challenge.
A couple of changes in particular from last Wednesday, Polence and Hersey back into the 11. Reasons behind them?
I think last week after the grand finals, it was quite difficult in the extra time, difficult for the players to all back up in Japan, but you know, the players have trained very well, and Yusuf's a very important player for us, and so is Jerome, and we're looking to them to you know, give us a lot on that right-hand side and hopefully set up some good opportunities for us.
A few players potentially playing their last game for the Wanderers tonight. Is that a motivating factor as a coach?
I'm not sure for a coach, but I think for the players it is, and it's a very... the unit's very close, you know, they're very together, this group, and they all want to go out on a high, and, you know, it's a great stage to... you know, to end their time here at the Wanderers, you know, in an ACL round of 16, and you know, they want to do well, and they actually want to go through.
Tony, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Cheers.
We want the Wanderers to go through, of course, not being biased, but yeah, we're being biased, sorry. Bozza, Foxfield time.
Yeah.
Take us through what Sanfrecce did to the Wanderers last week in a tactical sense and where they might need to tighten up tonight.
Yeah, well, Sasha made the point that first half, and he's exactly right. The Western Sydney Wanderers more than held their own. They looked quite comfortable, but after the break, Sanfrecce upped it, and where they caused the most damage was out wide. It's a position where normally we associate both the wide men from the Wanderers getting back and protecting their fullbacks, but the speed of play once they got going from Sanfrecce really caught them by surprise. Here's the two boys at the back, Mizumoto and Shiatani, playing it out, and the ball goes wide out to Yamagishi, and he's already onto the fullback Mullen. You see Api Akubi, he's a little bit out of the picture, just right near the referee. Normally they've got those type of positions covered with two men. It opens up everything, and what they were doing by going out wide was opening up the Western Sydney Wanderers defence so that they could come back through to centre. And again, on the other side, and this is where the coach takes a lot of credit from Sanfrecce, you see up there's Shannon Cole and Dean Heffernan, they've already attacked, and they know where they're going to counter-attack right down their side. You see them trying to get back, I think it's Trafiro over there on the other side, trying to get back his best, but they're away. And on the other side, they got their Kashiwa. He was outstanding that night, makes a massive run, and you see Ishihara, whose second half was completely opposite the first half. I mean, you know, we were looking at him first half going, well, they'll have an easy night. He was sensational second half. Makes the run inside. He's free. They've pulled back off him, and it's 1-0. So tonight they've got to be very wary of that Hersey, and on the other side, Halidi got to make sure that they get back and they cover their fullbacks, especially on the counter, because one goal tonight from Sanfrecce, and I'll feel as though they've got through the tie.
And your player to watch, Bozza, no surprise, is Shinji Ono.
Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating, the battle in the middle of the park, because Toshihiro Oyama, who got called up to the Japanese 23-man squad for the World Cup on Monday, is going to be in his pocket, and he'll have help, obviously, but this guy can find space like very few can.
Well, I wanted to tell you a story, Adam. I've actually kept this.
Gather round, man.
Well, I've kept this.
Bozza's got a story.
I kept this until this time. When the inauguration of the Western Sydney Wanderers occurred, I actually got a phone call from a friend of mine about Michael Ballack, and I tried very hard for Michael Ballack to come because I wanted the best for Western Sydney Wanderers. And Tony Popovich, who I've known since I've been 13, 14, said no, he's going to go for Shinji Ono. And at the time I said to him, I said, well, look, no problem, I respect your decision, all I do is trying to help, but I disagree with you. He proved me wrong, and so did Shinji Ono. He's been absolutely outstanding, not only for Western Sydney Wanderers, but for the A-League in general. And I think we look at things like, you know, certain pivotal moments in a sport. And we got a wonderful TV deal from Fox Sports, and obviously SBS chucked in, and the ABC radio. And I think a lot of that was to do with the effect that Shinji Ono, Emil Heskey, and Alessandro Del Piero had. So wonderful player, wonderful man, and he's done a fantastic job here.
Hopefully he can go out in style, because he's back to the J2 League, where he's off to Sapporo, and that particular club are going no good. He can perhaps lift them out of the doldrums. We'll get to Sanfrecce right now, and Sash, touch on their match. They've been here once before, this year's Champions League. It was against the Central Coast Mariners, where they led, and then they lost. On that night, what did you make of them that night, and maybe compare them to what we saw last week as well?
I wasn't convinced at all with them that night. You know, they scored the early goal, and after that they went to bits. Central Coast were all over them. Your mate Mike, he had a
evening, Mike, if you're watching.
He had a great game. Yeah. You know, two amazing goals, and you know, I wasn't convinced at all. I actually thought in the away leg that Western Sydney Wanderers would get a better result than what they did, and I'm sure if they put them under the pump and they get a goal early here, I'm not sure how long the Japanese team will be able to defend. They're not known for defending. They like to play forward. I'm not sure that they'll be able to park the bus like some of the other teams can do and save that goal.
Well, they're up front. They've got a guy. I mean, they've got a guy in the J League who they use a lot, Hisato Sato, who's not playing, unfortunately, because we had some spectacular vision of him doing wondrous things with his.
Why don't we run it anyway?
We might. If we've got time, we might. But we'll run vision of this fella, Naoki Ishihara, who Boz mentioned, first half stinker, second half Pele. Unbelievable last week. I don't know what was said to him at half time, but it worked.
Well, he just focused. And I would have thought he would have got a kick up the backside, because his first half performance after watching the second half was unacceptable. You know, the level he showed in the second half was quite exceptional. And he was outstanding. Two great finishes. This one was sublime. Little dink over the top of Ante Kovic. And he's somebody who's a support player. It's very difficult sometimes when you're watching on TV to get a real true picture of the support play that a striker can give, because you only get a certain amount of the picture. But you saw even with that second goal, sorry, not the second goal, the first goal, when he put it in, his support play and his instinct for goal was second to none.
We'll look forward to seeing him this evening. Now, Sash, just in a sense of a two-legged match, you've been involved with a few of them, especially in the Champions League. When you are behind and you go into the start of the second leg knowing that you have to play catch-up, is there a sense there that you can get a bit carried away early on? You can go get, I don't know, too lateral with your thinking in terms of how you're going to do it?
Yeah, we had that in the semi-final when I was playing at Songnam. We went away to Saudi Arabia against Al-Shabaab, and we lost the game 4-3. We came back home after the game. Obviously, there was a press conference, and they asked me a question: "Are you happy with the result?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm happy with the result, because now we know we go home and we win, and we're through to the final." And that's exactly what we did. Western Sydney Wanderers are in a very similar position. They know they have to win. They have to be sensible about it. We scored in the 70th minute.
Yeah.
They have to be sensible. They can't open themselves and just go gung-ho and say, yep, we're throwing everything at them. Sensible about it. Doesn't matter when they score, as long as they get those 2 goals and keep it tight at the back, they're through.
And that's imperative. What Sasha just said, is to be very patient. You know, they could go, 2-0 up in the space of 10 minutes, they'll all be swimming, and all of a sudden, like we saw against Ulsan, you make a couple of mistakes, and then boom, you need another 2 or 3 goals. So there's just got to be very patient.
That's what I was going to ask you, Boz, and it's a tad ironic that I'm asking you this. Is it easy to be sensible?
Well, for me personally, yes.
On a football pitch.
No, on a football pitch. I was going to say it's very difficult for me off the football. It's not as easy as you think. Sitting here watching, people will be watching at home and say, look, we've got the crowd, you've got the adrenaline going, you're on a roll. It's not easy at all. You really do want to kill off teams when you have that bit of momentum. But in any game, regardless of how strong or weak the opposition is, they're going to have a period when they're going to have a bit of ball and they're going to be a little bit on top of you, and that's when you have to be really, really careful, because you don't want them getting an away goal, because that would just make it doubly difficult. So that's when you need the leaders in the side. Now, we talk about captains of sides in football. The captain is not so important in football as it is in other sports like cricket. What's more important is you've got leaders in every part of the pitch, really. It'd be great, ideally, if you had it through the spine, but people who can just turn around to the younger members of the side, or even older members of the side that maybe got too excited, so just go, listen, hey, calm yourself down. A little bit like you did that night, Ali Bass. Calm yourself down, relax yourself. We've still got a game to win. We've got to do this. Okay, get back into position. That's when you need somebody there who's really, that trusts you, and that he trusts you as well, that can do that.
They've been absolutely spectacular, the Wanderers, in the opening 30 minutes of Champions League games this season. 5-0, for and against. More of that will be needed this evening, you would think. Sash and Boz, quick tip?
I'm going for the Wanderers to do it. I think the Wanderers would do it 3-0.
3-0?
I think they'll win as well.
Fair enough. I reckon 2-0. We're off to extra... No, we wouldn't be.
We wouldn't be.
Extra time. The away goals are in operation.
Only time we'll go for extra time, Adam, you told me before, was?
3-1.
There you go.
To the Wanderers. So there's the colour from the RBB, who are in force again this evening. Let's get to the ground and welcome in our match commentators for the Wanderers and Sanfrecce. Second leg, Robbie Slater and Mike Cockle.
Hang on to your hats. This could be a special night in the AFC Champions League for Western Sydney Wanderers. The target is clear. A 2-0 win is the perfect outcome. Concede a goal, though, and the improbable may become the impossible. The margin for error is certainly wafer thin. Well, we all talk about the big nights in Europe. Let's hope we get one in Asia. The Wanderers hoping to become just the second Australian club through to the last 8. Adelaide United have done it twice. Standing in their way, the champions of Japan, Sanfrecce Hiroshima, are in the driving seat as they look to produce their own slice of history by making the quarterfinals for the first time. Well, let's get to the team sheets. And Tony Popovic makes 5 changes to the side which lost in Hiroshima. Cole, Heffernan, Apia, Mullen and Juric make way. Ono, Santalab, LaRocca, Hersey and Pollens are promoted. The reshuffle sees Sporanovic move to central defence, with Golic shifting to left back. Trefiro, Beecham, Ono, Pollens and Sporanovic could all be playing their last games for the club. On the bench tonight, Shannon Cole, Adam Depuzzo, Tommy Juric, Corbina Apia, Yanni Percardas and Alassane Fofana are the youngsters. Well, for the visitors, Sanfrecce make just the one change to a winning side. Kazu Chiba makes way in central defence. His place taken by South Korean international Hwang Suk-ho. Depending on your view, it's either a 3-4-2-1 or a 3-6-1 formation for the visitors. The key players are the midfield screener Toshihiro Aoyama, playmaker Yojiro Takahagi, and the lone striker Naoki Ishihara, who scored 2 wonderful goals in the first leg last week. On the bench for Sanfrecce is Kazuhiko Chiba, their defender, Takayuya Masuda, Yosuke Minagawa, Kohai Shimizu, and Takuya Marutani, the notable substitutes for Sanfrecce. Well, it does seem a tall order for Western Sydney Wanderers, but Sanfrecce have won just 1 of their last 5 matches in the J-League, so perhaps they are vulnerable. Tonight's referee, Nawaf Abdullah from Bahrain. Yes, Sanfrecce's domestic form has been okay without being spectacular. And Tony Popovich will know all about Sanfrecce. He spent 5 seasons with the club and played 87 games for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. His teammates during that time included Hajime Moriyasu, the coach of Sanfrecce, who as a player played an impressive 271 J-League games for the club he's coaching tonight. Big occasion for Brendan Santalab, who in this rotation policy gets a start tonight ahead of Tommy Urich. The Wanderers will be looking to their impressive first half form in the ACL to lay a foundation. There is one interesting stat going into tonight's kickoff. Australian sides may have lost all their away games in Japan in 2014, but they have won all their home games against Japanese opposition. So off we go here at Parramatta. The team in predominantly white. Sanfrecce Hiroshima, the defending champions of Japan. They won the last 2 titles. They do have an impressive pedigree. And they are certainly in the driving seat, Robbie Slater. But 2-0, well, it does seem a tall order for the Wanderers. Do you think they can do it?
Well, look, I think they can. And, of course, the start is very, very important. It's going to be interesting to see how the Japanese side come out and what their mindset is. Of course, they're in the driver's seat, as you said. Look, the Wanderers won't come out all guns blazing. They'll want to put pressure on Sanfrecce. They'll have to a very, very good record in this competition of early goals in the first half an hour. That would be nice for them. But, of course, it's all about keeping that structure to make sure they don't concede one.
Here's Jerome Pollens, who will be playing his final game for the Wanderers. He made that known on social media earlier today. A number of these players are looking to make their farewell appearances in a successful one for Western Sydney tonight. Not sure how much that will play on the minds of the team in general. Alidi dispossessed. Here come Hiroshima. It's Notsuda. And the referee will bring it back for the free kick. A few weeks ago, Jason Trefiro was linked to a move back to the State League with Sydney United, but his form in the ACL has forced a rethink from his coach about offering him a new deal. Diagonal ball is well and truly overhit. Came from Hiroki Mizumoto, who was playing on the left side of a back 3 at home. They do look as though, Robbie, they might have lined up with a 4 at the back at Hiroshima, maybe a concession to this being an away game.
Well, I think it's a 5 when they're defending. I think you'll see also number 18, Kashiwa, drop back to that right-hand side as well when they're defending.
As his pass is blocked.
But definitely the 3 there, Mizumoto, Shiotani in the middle. He's got the shock of blonde hair there, number 33, and the Korean Suko. You see there, 5 across the back when they're defending.
LaRocca releases Pollens. Wouldn't they love an early goal above all else in this game, Western Sydney? Trefiro sprints it wide. Here's Golek. That's neither here nor there for Anthony Golek, who's back in the left back role. I guess the big question, Robbie, is in terms of mindset, as we have another look at the build-up play from Western Sydney, is are the Wanderers the sort of team that can go on the attack, on all-out attack, if they need to?
Oh, I think they back themselves, and I go back to that record in this season's ACL where they have got a lot of early goals. But you're right in what you're pertaining to, and that's not the sort of side that's going to come out and throw men forward straight away. You'd have to agree with that tactic from Tony Popovic.
La Rocca. Into the channel is Hersey. It's a smart turn from Yusuf Hersey, and a good dummy as well. This will be a Sanfrecce throw. Pressure on Hersey came from Satoru Yamagishi. Here's Mizumoto. No surprise the Wanderers are dominating the early possession. Foul there from Kakuto Notsura. Free kick to be taken by Shinji Ono, who after this match will be employed by Consadole Sapporo in the Japanese second tier. Plenty of targets to aim at, but it's a disappointing delivery from Ono. They get the lucky bounce though, and the effort was decent from Jerome Pollens.
Yeah, he took it really quickly on the volley, couldn't control it, couldn't get over it enough. It was a decent effort. Jerome Pollens comes out to him there, you see, and it just didn't dip enough for that shot to trouble the goalkeeper, Hayashi.
Just in case you're wondering about the empty seats, we're told there's a big crowd still waiting to get in, so the latecomers are having trouble getting through the turnstiles. Mail was there was over 10,000 tickets sold for this game. Golek. Down he goes, the challenge from Kashiwa, who was very impressive in the first leg down that right channel. Smart turn by Takahagi. The Wanderers almost have it back. Here is Yojiro Takahagi. Create a fulcrum for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. A touch for Hayashi, the goalkeeper. One of the best of first touches.
Number 21, Shinji Ono for Western Sydney. In this sort of game, Tony Popovic with a pretty good catch on the sidelines, but Shinji Ono is so important when you look at this defensive setup from Sanfrecce. It's important to try and get him on the ball in between the lines. He's the one that can unlock a deep and very compact defence. As you can see from the early exchanges, they're not very adventurous at all. They'll look to suck Western Sydney in and then try and hit them on the counter-attack with Yojiro Notsudo on the right-hand side.
That was late and strong from Brendan Santalab. I think it was Sasaki Chiatani that was on the receiving end of a typically robust Santalab challenge. Lucky to not get a card there, Brendan Santalab. It was late and high.
Sure that if there's another one, he'll get one. He's talking to from the Bahrainian referee.
Hayashi And Santalab puts the goalkeeper under real pressure. This time the delivery is a lot better.
He's got to be careful because he did lunge in again there. And the pressure on Hayashi. Brendan Santalab fired up.
I think Shiatani's gone across there to have a word in perhaps some broken English. Well, if you're pondering the quality of the game you're watching, there are 3 players on display who are likely to be in Brazil. The likely applies to Matt Sporanovic for Australia, of course. The definites are the South Korean fullback Hwang Suk-ho and the number 6 for Sanfrecce, Toshihiro Oyama. So not a bad indicator of the quality of this game when you've got 3 players about to head to the World Cup, Robert.
Certainly, it's a big game, isn't it, for Matt Sporanovic, of course, playing at the back there in line for a stopper role at the World Cup.
Good pressure from Santalab to dispossess Shiatani, and they've got their wires crossed in defence, Sanfrecce. That's an encouraging sign for the Wanderers.
It's good pressing again from Brendan Santalab, and just couldn't turn quick enough, just stumbled a little bit there.
La Rocca. Allowed to go over the byline by Aoyama. One of our eyebrows raised in Japan that the number 6 for Sanfrecce was given the nod in the World Cup squad, particularly over the top of Hajime Hosogai, who plays for Hertha Berlin in the Bundesliga. That's a real show of face by Alberto Zaccaroni, the national coach of Japan. Here's Pollens. Diagonal ball looking for Haliti. And there is Suk-ho.
Well, it's been a good opening period from the Wanderers. Good pressure. Just need to be a little bit more clever in these sorts of areas with this very deep-set Japanese defence. And it's quite often that. It's not even the last ball, it's the second last ball. Picking that right decision.
Yusuf Hersey, of course, off to Perth Glory. A deal that was completed midway through the season, but not announced officially for the last few days. Sporanovic, now La Rocca. That's a real up and under from the Italian. Aoyama. Now Shiatani goes over the top looking for Ishihara, who's in behind Ishihara. Still Ishihara, and Ishihara does get the shot on target. Didn't know a great deal about it, Ante Kovic, but did enough to make the save. In fact, it might have gone straight to his face, that one.
Well, there's a snapshot of what they'll be looking to do. They turn them around, they get caught 2 square, and Ishihara playing off the shoulder, and he's quite quick. And he manages, he's strong enough on Sporanovic and gets a snapshot in. It's at a good height from Kovic, who has that near post covered very well.
First corner of the game goes to Sanfrecce, to be taken by Yojiro Takahagi. A worrying moment for the Wanderers. It's decent back post delivery. Well, in fact, it wasn't. But it was going to find the man at the back post. Ishihara. That's the lead off the Western Sydney Wanderers. There was a warning sign the way Naoki Ishihara got the better of Matt Sporanovic there.
Well, he just got in between. Clever little diagonal run, the long ball from Shiatani. That should not catch them out. If Beecham And Sporanovic. There, LaRocca's got to be careful. He turns this one over.
And they've got numbers. It's 4v4 for the moment. Ball comes in. Takahagi couldn't bring it under control. LaRocca retrieves the situation, having made the cheap turnover in the first place. Percy spins away from his man. Brought down by Satoru Yamagishi.
You see how they're back there, 5-4-1. He's done very well there.
Leady's kept it in play, and the keeper in full stretch hasn't made the best of it, and it will be a goal kick. Unlucky for Brendan Santalab. Leedy did ever so well there, and
look at
Takuto Hayashi, the goalkeeper, a few nervy moments.
Yeah, Leedy does very well. More than a nervy moment, he spilled that, and Percy charging in at the back post. Look how well Leedy does to keep that in. Should be a regulation take for the goalkeeper. He goes with one hand. That's poor technical application from Hayashi.
Shiotani again goes over the top, and again it's caught the Wanderers out. Out comes Kovic. There was contact.
Well, the referee thought about it.
And Gakuto Notsuda was the breaking midfielder.
Again, it's a long ball over the top. They shouldn't be getting caught out like that. And it was Notsuda with the run. Just a regulation long ball. It's come twice from Shiotani. And they're getting caught very square, and they got away with another one there. Brilliant run from deep from Notsuda.
The man on the ball seems to be the out for Sanfrecce in terms of getting the ball forward from defence. Takahagi in behind is Kashiwa. He's got the better of Golek. Danger here for Western Sydney. The cutback. And again, they dodge a bullet, Western Sydney Wanderers. Well, they've had the better of the opening 10 minutes, but in the last 5, Sanfrecce Hiroshima have certainly asked some very big questions.
Yeah, well, that was not Notsuda again, and it was Kashiwa down the right-hand side, and Golek stopped because he thought Kovic was coming for it. Kovic hesitated, backtracked, and they got away with it again. Notsuda coming from the left-hand side, Kashiwa down the right-hand side. That's now 3 chances, really, they've had. Albeit probably one really good chance from Ishihara and 2 decent half chances.
Kovic, Robbie, perhaps need to take a higher starting position. Here's Sporanovic.
Well, I thought that ball over the top, I thought he would have been favourite to get that. He had been on his front foot. He hesitated and it was too late. Kashiwa was on his way. Just couldn't find the right pass for Notsuda.
There's another turnover. We're seeing a bit of the ball at the moment, Sanfrecce. Ono has released Hersey. Chance here for the Wanderers. Hersey still going, hesitated. Breaks here for the Wanderers, and it's a decent effort from Shinji Ono. Just got under the ball, I should say. The goal was beckoning for Shinji Ono.
Well, I think it's the height. Nothing wrong with the height. I think it's the direction. He was looking to get a bit of it the outside of the boot on it. It hit it too straight, too true. Takes it first time, left foot, goes straight as an arrow. Nothing wrong with the height.
Takahagi, Suko, I should say. Kashiwa. Pressure on Shibasaki. Some ominous signs for the Wanderers. Sanfrecce look as though they are going for that precious away goal, having been fairly conservative in the first 10 minutes.
Oh, I think they've gained a lot of confidence from how easily they got in behind, and now they've pushed up.
Sporanovic back to his keeper, and it's a sliced clearance from Kovic. Neither keeper in this opening period particularly distinguishing themselves.
Missed a shout from Notsuda as he goes across. Kovic comes out.
No, I'm not having that one, Robbie.
I think it would have been very soft, but I tell you now, the Bahrainian referee shaped to put the whistle to his mouth. He thought about it. Kovic didn't really get anything of the ball, so it's a clumsy challenge.
Trafiro. La Rocca. Well, there's a good feel to this game now that Sanfrecce have started to open up a little bit. Oh no, Percy. That shot from Shinji Ono, wide of the post. Scored a couple of wonderful goals in the last season for Western Sydney Wanderers. Last game against Guizhou Renhe, 5-0 of course to Western Sydney against a second-string Chinese opposition. Sanfrecce, by contrast, are playing all their main players tonight. There's nothing second string about this Sanfrecce 11. Aoyama. Kashiwa. Back to Supo. Sanfrecce started to move the Wanderers players around. All of a sudden, something of a swagger about Sanfrecce.
Gained a lot of confidence in those two in the middle of the park. Yama, Shibasaki starting to get a lot of touches on the ball. This is Shibasaki here just dropping back beside Shiatani.
Well, Shiatani gambled and won there. The lady was very close to the intercept. Here's Suko. Now Notsuda has worked it wide to the left. They've got numbers inside. Sanfrecce clipped to the top of the box. The header from Kashiwa blocked initially, and in the end, Jason Trafiro happy to see that one over the halfway line, and his clearance falls, fortunately, for Brendan Santalab. In from Pollens, looking for Golek.
Kashiwa very cool under pressure. But what about that run? Yamagishi down that left-hand side. And it was Kashiwa. You look at it, Kashiwa there, heading that one back to his goalkeeper. He was the one on the end of that cross from the left-hand side from Yamagishi.
Oh, no. Down there he goes. Shiatani across the path of his opponent. That's the reason for the free kick.
No, Shiatani a little bit harsh there because more of a shoulder charge. Just runs across his line. Probably right decision.
So a set-piece chance here for Western Sydney. 22.5 minutes gone. No goals, but both teams have had their opportunities. As we know, it's desperation time for Western Sydney. They need desperately that first goal. It's Ono over the dead ball. Takuto Hayashi between the posts for Sanfrecce. Ono having a good long look at all the angles. He's got the set square out, Shinji Ono. Ono straight into the wall. Breaks here for Hersey. Almost Shiatani just lumps it forward.
Our wall does its job. Didn't connect with it very well, did he? Shiatani clearing the danger from Hersey.
Here's Ishihara. Break down the left, Sanfrecce. Hole ends upended.
Again, they get joy from that long ball from Shiatani. Now Notsudo and Ishihara. Yamaguchi electing to come inside this time. His last time was much more dangerous when he skipped around the outside of Jerome Pollins.
Route one from Kovic. One in the air by Shiatano over the top of Santalab, and the referee has seen a foul. Small knot of Sanfrecce supporters. Ono delivers. There's plenty of height there for the Wanderers. It was looping under the crossbar, but it was a regulation save from Hayashi.
I think Beecham might have got this. Might have actually come off a Japanese head. Decent delivery. And I think it comes off Shibasaki.
Here's Pollens on the overlap. He's in behind Jerome Pollens. Looks for Ono in there with Shiatani. Breaks for Trefiro. Clips it down the line for Hersey, who gets the better of Takahagi. Ono. Still going, Shinji Ono. Down he goes. It's inside the box. The referee was perfectly placed. And no great appeal, you'd have to say, from Shinji Ono either. Hersey showed too much of it to Shibasaki. Change down this left-hand side, Western Sydney, but Golik's done well on this occasion. Notsura, Kashiwa, Shiatane. Missed by Skoranovic, rescued by Beecham. Good little spell this from Western Sydney. Pollins needs a good delivery. Santalab was just trying to lay it, I think, into the path of Hersey. Did come at him rather quickly, and now the two centre-halves against the one Sanfrecce striker, Ishihara, who continues to cause all sorts of problems for both Sporanovic and Beecham. This time Sporanovic has done well, but huge pressure on Golek. Straight through him was Kashiwa.
Well, again, it was the long ball that caused him problems, but up the other end, this is the one on Shinjiano. If there was a bit of a shove, it was certainly outside the box initially.
Well, he's proven to be a handful now, Ishihara, who scored, of course, two pretty decent goals last week in the first leg. The second one was an absolute peach, Robbie.
Oh, it was a brilliant piece of skill. Outside of his boot, just chipping Kovic, which is feeding itself.
La Rocca looks for Hersey, the turnover. Shibasaki. On the run is Kashiwa. La Rocca's done well, but he's drawn the foul, in fact. Now Haliti, who's been quiet to this point. Pollins.
Wasn't a bad ball, and most of Western Sydney's threat has come down that right-hand side.
Oh no, Hersey! Well, that was awkward for Yusuf Hersey. He did well to get a shot.
That was a tough one. Yeah, it was a tough one. Great little ball in there from Shinji Ono when he's stretching and can only just get his toe to it. And scoops it up and over the bar. Shinji Ono got himself into a really good position inside the penalty box there. Again, coming from that right-hand side, that's where virtually all the attacks from Western Sydney have come. They've had little down this left-hand side.
Hersey at full speed, dispossessed by Mizumoto. It's a brave header from Trefiro. Sporanovic. Now Beecham. Well, Hajime Moriyasu, the Sanfrecce coach, applauding his players for the pressure they're applying on the ball.
You see when they're getting to these sorts of areas, approaching that final third, it's very dense and compact. Some great discipline from Sanfrecce and very good structure.
Fascinating tactical battle between Moriyasu and Popovic, two former teammates, of course, with Sanfrecce. Moriyasu 5 years older than Tony Popovic. He's certainly a tactician. Play a very unusual style, Sanfrecce. Successful style, of course. 3 championships in the last 6 seasons. Did win 5 titles in the old Japan Soccer League, which predated the J-League. Club that is 76 years old, Sanfrecce. At one stage they were a works team for the Mazda car company, and the current success is the best they've ever had. It's been rewarded by the best crowds in their history. 17,700 is their average now. Best they've ever had. And about 70 of those supporters are in that southern corner of Parramatta Stadium. There they are. The travelling support like what they see, I would think.
Looked to have a defector in there.
Free kick, Sanfrecce, challenged by Golic. Oyama. Shibasaki back to Shiatane. Danger here, Notsuda. LaRocca beat to the punch by Takahagi, but Trefiro's done well. Santalab couldn't retain possession.
Yeah, that's a shame because Sanfrecce had committed quite a few players forward there, and that's when you got to hit them.
Well, Yamagishi's got the better of Pollens, not for the first time. Notsuda. Golic goes long looking for Santalab. Haliti, clever ball, plays in Hersey. Here's Yusuf Hersey up against Mizumoto. And good defending from Mizumoto in a one-on-one situation. Crucial defending. Possession the last 5 with the home team. And as I mentioned, Hajime Moriyasu, the Sanfrecce coach, not unduly concerned. You'd have to say neither Hayashi or Kovic has really had a difficult save to make to this point.
A lot of the play's been in this middle third. Stopped singing from the first minute.
Notsuda. Beecham should get there and does. Well, he's wearing the armband, Michael Beecham, Robbie, but by all accounts it could well be on his way out of the club. No room for sentiment when you're Tony Popovic. We'll have to wait and see, of course, whether that's confirmed. Trefira tried to thread the needle to Haliti, cut out by Kashiwa. Hersey. Inside Yusuf Hersey. Here's LaRocca looking to return the pass.
That's where they found it very, very difficult. They've been very narrow, the three at the back there, Shiatani, Suko and Mizumoto. And with the two, well, if you call them wingers, dropping back in beside them, there's very little space with Shibasaki and Oyama just in front. Been very, very disciplined in their shape.
Takahagi. Trefiro does well. Haliti. Now Ono. LaRocca. Well, we might have thought about a shot there. Jacopo LaRocca at the other end of the field. Too much enthusiasm from the Aki Ishihara.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought they were backing off him. I think he got caught in two minds. There's the foul from Ishihara on Michael Beecham, but LaRocca, once he hesitated, that space and closed the ball to Santalab was never on.
Not a renowned goal scorer, Jacopo LaRocca. Percy. Plays through the legs of the Sanfrecce player, but LaRocca should clean up, although he's been dispossessed. Ishihara deep in his own half to retrieve possession. The only forward movement really came from Takahagi. Otsuda on the other side of the field also offered an outlet, but he's been taken out by Michael Beecham.
Well, I think just caught him on the follow through, Michael Beecham.
And that's a very costly yellow card potentially for Matt Sporanovic, the only player in the field who received a card in the first leg if the Wanderers do go through to the quarterfinals. And if Matt Sporanovic is still on the books, there's a couple of big ifs there, he will not be able to play the first leg of the quarterfinal. Named in the Socceroos provisional squad today, Matt Sporanovic, so he'll be desperately hoping to celebrate with a win here tonight. Off on a stretcher goes Takahagi. He was on the receiving end of that challenge, and an indication for the medical staff that that is the end of the section. Or will there be a miraculous recovery from Yojiro Takahagi? Here's Kashiwa. Free kick's been taken. Clips it in. Kovic, a scrambling save. Needed to keep the ball there, Ante Kovic, and did so. And it looks as though Takahagi is going to be up and about. Well, there you go. I am sure I saw the signal from the medical staff that substitution needed to be made. Now Sporanovic. Oh no, turns away from Aoyama, almost broke for Santalab. Hollins throws himself in there. Advantage played by the referee. The challenge came from Golek on Takahagi, who's only just come back out on the field.
I thought there was minimal contact there.
My first impression was that Golek couldn't get out of the way, but the replay will tell us more. Here's Pollens. Oh no, back to Pollens. The German a poor first touch there. Here's that earlier challenge. He just slid into Golek, didn't he? Takahagi. Yojiro Takahagi, playmaker for Sanfrecce Hiroshima. And that looks as though that's the way the referee's seen it as well.
Well, as you approach half-time now, and a real stalemate. It's last 15 minutes or so. There's been a lot of play in both ends. Final thirds. Ball looks like it might be too straight. Or he'll get a corner. So the Wanderers will get a corner, but I think Tony Popovich at half-time is going to have to look at his left-hand side. They've been very lopsided in their attacking. It's all come down the right. They've had little with Halidi and Golek down this left-hand side.
Just the slightest of touches from Satoru Yamagishi. First corner of the game for the Wanderers, to be delivered by Shinji Ono.
It's come off Sporanovic.
We're inside the final minute of regulation time. It's been an absorbing tussle in the first half here at Parramatta. After a careful opening, Sanfrecce have certainly made their intentions clear. They want that away goal, which would all but settle the tie.
Yeah, they want the away goal, but they're very clever and tactically astute. They haven't got the ball. They've been compact. Very good structure, very disciplined, and certainly very, very difficult to break down.
Trefiro, Golek up against Kashiwa. Now Trefiro again, looking for Ono. It's come off Shiatane. Straight back to Sporanovic, Golek, Haliti. That's another corner for Western Sydney.
No, just positive play from Haliti. His side, their second corner.
They haven't conceded in the first half of 6 of their 7 ACL games at Sanfrecce. Conversely, the Wanderers have made a habit of scoring early goals. And they get one here in the shadows of half-time. Western Sydney Wanderers. In from Ono, near post delivery. Percy threw himself at it. So too did Trefiro, and now Sanfrecce break at warp speed. Ishihara taken out by Santalab, who surely will go into the referee's notebook. He's had a warning already, and that's what you call a professional foul by Brendan Santalab. Wasn't the last man, but was certainly determined to bring down Naoki Ishihara.
That'll be the easiest decision for the referee this evening. No attempt to play the ball, just to break the play from Santalab. Sanfrecce's turn to get a chance on stroke of half-time from a set piece. Throwing too many bodies forward.
Yojiro Takahagi wants to play it short, goes square. Yamagishi. Step over, gets to the byline. Look for Ishihara away from Sporanovic. Not the best of headers. Hesitation from Western Sydney. Aoyama's in there for Sanfrecce, and again they live dangerously, the Wanderers, in the centre of their own defence. It hasn't been convincing in the first half here at Parramatta.
Well, we've shown a few times how dangerous Yamagishi can be down that left-hand side. Little step over around Pollens. That ball he put into the middle deserved to be attacked.
Free kick, Sanfrecce, another one. The challenge from Sporanovic, who's already been booked. He takes out Ishihara. Needs to get away from the scene of the crime in a hurry. Matt Sporanovic.
There's Yamagishi. Look, drops a little step over, outside step over, and hangs it up, and no one attacking the ball.
I remember game 1 against Ulsan Hyundai here, Robbie, and a couple of awful defensive headers from Western Sydney cost them dearly. Don't seem to have fixed the problem. Again, Yojiro Takahagi over the set piece.
Well, every Wanderer is back. Sanfrecce only have got 3 in the box. One coming in late, Aoyama.
It's also Hwang Suk-ho in from Takahagi, is way too close to the keeper. Well, there goes the halftime whistle from the Bahraini referee. Well, Western Sydney Wanderers were looking for a 2-0 scoreline with 90 minutes on the clock. Now they've only got 45 minutes left to achieve that. It's a must-win game for the Wanderers. They need that 2-goal advantage. Sanfrecce had their opportunities as well, particularly with those long early balls over the top. So some encouragement for the visitors, some concern in some ways from Tony Popovic, but they haven't conceded a goal and they are still very much in the contest. Half-time here at Parramatta, Western Sydney Wanderers 0, Sanfrecce Hiroshima 0.
In the balance, thank you very much for that, Michael and Robbie Slater. We're off to a break. We'll discuss that first half with Sasha Ogdanovsky and Mark Bosnich on the other side. Welcome back. It's on a nice edge this. 3-1 down after the first leg. Western Sydney Wanderers and Sanfrecce a level at half-time. As you can see on this beautiful desk we've got here, no score at Parramatta Stadium in that first half. Sasha Ogdanovsky, Asian and Player of the Year in 2010, and Mark Bosnich here alongside me. Bozza, start with you. What do you reckon of that first half? Well,
I thought it was a really good start by the Western Sydney Wanderers, who pretty much dominated throughout the first half, but Sanfrecce showed their attacking prowess on the counter-attack. Some really hairy moments. The game could have been all over. It's a really good save by Kovic, which you saw there on the highlights. They got a lot of space, and Sasha actually picked this up, and he was right in the middle of the park, pretty much from that area onwards, where Golic received the ball. And this is where Shinji Ono and LaRocca, a couple times they've tried to do it, to maybe attack. They're very deep, Sanfrecce. They've got to attack and drive with the ball and draw a play out of that box, or even start shooting. We saw Samuel Nasri score a wonderful goal when West Ham were trying to do the same against Man City on the weekend. That's what they need to do.
Sash, they're playing three tight at the back, which seems in vogue at the moment in these big matches all across the world in football. And the Wanderers, and Shinji in particular, just finding it hard to create pockets of space through that. They're getting that space in front of the back 3 or 5 when they come back, but they're not. Because obviously the number of players they got there, that Shinji hasn't been able to pass that last ball into someone running into it, onto the pass and trying to shoot a goal. There's a couple of situations there where Yusuf Hersi was one-on-one. Instead of going to the byline and cutting it back, he was trying to cut back inside, and the numbers are inside. So we've got to try and get around them somehow and play the ball in between the lines and try and get those cutbacks
and not try to walk the ball in the net. You know, start having a crack, because Sash, as a defender, you're happy if people are actually having a shot from distance, aren't you? Yeah. But if they start shooting and hitting the post, or your goalkeeper's making great saves, invariably your coach or goalkeeper, someone's going to say to you, start pushing out, then you can start playing the 1-2s in behind them.
And what it does do, exactly right, the next one, when Shinji's running with the ball at him, someone is going to run out to him to block those shots. So that little hole is where that pass should go.
Appears from behind.
Speaking of the next one, Sanfrecce obviously pretty happy at half-time. They've had some good chances as well. And the next one, in the sense that Sash really enjoyed some of this long passing. It's an art to be able to do this. And in the second half, you just wonder what the Wanderers' backline will be thinking of what they need to do in terms of, they press, they drop deep, pick up the runners or whatever. What have you made of it?
It is. It's un-Japanese-like. It's caught the back 4 off guard on a few occasions. But the passes are precise. Every time they've passed the ball, they've hit the target. They've hit their man running into space. And it's very dangerous. So the Wanderers are going to have to be, the back 4 are going to have to be on top of their game to counter any of that stuff.
Yeah, and Sanfrecce are just happy to play without it for the majority, which they have. 58% of possession is with the Wanderers, but they're dangerous, aren't they, Bozza, on that counter-attack?
You've seen that on those highlights, Adam. Very, very fast. And like you just said, this is a wonderful long passing. Direct balls straight to people's feet or just in behind, so the likes of Ishihara can run onto it.
And it's not lumping it, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's doing it for a reason. But we saw that in the first leg, in the second half. You know, we saw the back 2 who were playing, Shiotani and Mizumoto, who were both playing tonight, hit those diagonal balls so they could go at their fullbacks. They're just doing it a little bit different. They're going down the centre. But it's not just to anywhere. But really important for the Wanderers now. 2 things that I've noticed that really they are uncomfortable with. Uncomfortable with quality crosses in the box. The ball drops down, second balls, so forth. And also that business I've given them, they're really dropping off them in the middle of the park when they get it about 30, 40 metres out. Drive in, If they don't come to you, start letting it rip. Start hitting the ball.
Yep.
You know.
Never know what might happen. Stick around this evening. Massive day of football, obviously, with the Socceroos announcement. We had it on Fox Sports News live this morning. We've got this right now, the Asian Champions League, and we've got this later on. Caught a sneak peek of it before there, but just after 11 p.m. Eastern with the great Brenton Speed in commentary over there live from Vietnam. It's Australia and Japan to kick off the 2014 Women's Asian Cup. Australia defending champions. Fair old ask. First up though, the Japanese. Strong always in the women's game and the men's game too. And then the Socceroos are in action. Australia v South Africa Monday the 26th of May. The farewell game at ANZ Stadium in Sydney. We'll be there live and exclusive on Fox Sports. We're off to a break. We're back to Parramatta Stadium right after this.
Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happy.
Welcome back. Just ahead of this second half, and it's all on the line for the Western Sydney Wanderers. 2 goals, and they don't concede. They're through to the quarterfinals of the Asian Champions League. As we've seen, though, in that first half, it ain't going to be easy against the Sanfrecce side, who, let's be honest, Sash, they would have come here expecting, hoping something like that in the first 45. They'll be over the moon at half-time.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. They've done their job in the first half. They're going to look to do something very similar to that in the second. Try and get them on the counter. Try and knock a few long balls over the back as they did in the first half 3 times. Western Sydney Wanderers have to be aware of that. And like we said at the start of the show, they don't have to score in the 48th minute. They can score 2 goals in the 90th minute.
Patience.
It doesn't matter.
Patience. They're still good for Western Sydney Wanderers as well. They've taken a lot out of Sanfrecce in the first half. There's one thing that didn't go to plan for Sanfrecce. They would have wanted to get an away goal at the beginning to try to catch them cold. So just keep going, keep wearing them down. Even they score with 10 minutes to go, it's still game on. So just be patient. I remember when Arsenal won the title in 1989, they had to go to Anfield and win 2-0. No one gave them a hope. Liverpool, all that do was draw. And Arsenal actually tied it in the first half against Liverpool. I mean, obviously they were playing away from home. Western Sydney Wanderers were playing at home, but it was 0-0. Everyone was still going, no chance, no chance. They scored with 20 minutes to go, and then they scored the winner in the 94th minute, I think it was. So just keep being patient, keep wearing them down, and shoot. You don't shoot, you don't score.
Wow. Inside
cutting edge, that one, buddy. See that one? Write that one down.
Imagine if you did, though. No. Yeah. Just in regards to their bench as well, Bozzo, I threw out the name before. When you were talking about the fact that they don't like it when you stick it in the mixer, for want of a better expression. Tomislav Juric, very good when it comes to that.
Get him on.
Yep. Straight up.
Well, I'd go an hour.
Just in case it goes to extra time.
If you really want to go who dares wins, right now, but I think he'll do it after an hour.
Fair enough. What are you expecting from the Wanderers in this opening 15 minutes? Sash, to go all guns blazing or be a little bit?
No, I don't think they can afford to go all guns blazing. They'll play pretty similar to what they did in the first half. When Big Tommy comes on, I think they've got to change it. They've been trying to play into feet to Brenton Sandlab, get some balls and put the back line under pressure. They're not comfortable with the Japanese team, just the long balls. I know when we were playing with the Aussie team, they hated Timmy up there.
Yeah, up in Brisbane that night. Yeah.
We knock the ball in there. We put them under all sorts of pressure. Pick up the second balls. You got Ono around there. You got Hersey. You got Apia to come on, and that might be the difference in the end.
Good stuff, boys. We'll see you at full time. Let's get back to the ground right now with Robbie Slater and Mike Cockle.
Yeah, thanks very much, Adam. Well, I can tell you a very vigorous warm-up during the break from Tommy Juric, so perhaps we'll see him sooner rather than later, although that's not necessarily been the approach of Tony Popovic, as we know. Brenton Sandlab, of course, that's sitting on a card as well, so that change does seem certain at some stage. I'm sure a few Wanderers fans can only dream of the possibility of both Juric and Sandlab playing in the same 11. We haven't seen that this season, but you never know with the ACL campaign, very much in the balance campaign that's going to the wire as the Wanderers get the second half underway. It's the 20th game played by A-League clubs in this season's AFC Champions League. The Wanderers are 45 minutes away from ending Australian interest in the competition unless they can find a couple of goals. Here's Pollens. That's right side was productive for Western Sydney in that first half. Combination between the two imports, Yusuf Hersi and Jerome Pollens, causing some anxious moments for Sanfrecce Hiroshima.
Yeah, certainly they were the best outlet. Two players who won't be here, of course, next season. Hersi off to Perth Glory. Pollens, I don't know where. They certainly got to lift the intensity, Western Sydney.
Shinji Ono. Breaks for Golek, now Trefiro, who was solid in that first half. Shibasaki, rolled on it too long, good pressure from Yusuf Hersi. Here's Shinji Ono playing his 57th and last game for Western Sydney. Shinji Ono recently voted the club's Player of the Year. Though interestingly enough, Rob, he's only started 3 of the ACL games for Western Sydney. So Tony Popovic has used his star player, if you like, surprisingly sparingly.
Well, I think it's also because of the finals, of course. They went to the grand final and kept fresh for those games.
Here's Haliti at Golek. Haliti's been played in, needs a good ball across. It's not the best, though, from Labana Haliti. It's been the problem down that left-hand side for Western Sydney. The final ball. Ishihara and Beecham. There was some contact off the ball. Hajime Moriyasu, the Sanfrecce coach, is asking the question, claiming there was an elbow. I didn't see that. Bit of a nudge, if you like. That's the best way of interpreting that. And he's not the sort of player to retreat from this type of situation, is he, the Wanderers skipper, Michael Beecham? Just a sign of how much is at stake here for Western Sydney. No hard feelings between Naoki Ishihara and Michael Beecham. Spiranovic. Do you think, Robbie, that Tony Popovic would have devoted some of his half-time talk in conversation with his two centre-halves?
Well, definitely. No doubt about that, to keep their concentration and not to get caught square as they did 2 or 3 occasions in that first half. So when they're in possession, those two have got to be always thinking, where is Ishihara? And also, where's Notsuda and Yojiro?
Shibasaki goes long. Ishihara. And Ono run into each other, but Ono has picked out Hersi. Here's Santalab. Switch was on, but that option's been closed down pretty quickly by Sanfrecce.
Well, they get back into place so quickly, Sanfrecce. If you don't hit that initial ball, you find you're up against that compact 5 across the back and 4 in the middle.
Pollens. Flips it back post, looking for the late arrival of Labana Haliti, I should say. Just enough pressure from Hwang Suk-ho, South Korean fullback. As we mentioned, off to the World Cup. Yamagishi. Hersi has it back for Western Sydney. can sense the urgency about Western Sydney now. Yusuf Hersey. Back here looking for Ono, who's applied enough pressure. Still with Shinji Ono. The cutback is decent. Chance here for Lemino Haliti. Shiatani with the initial block. They threw themselves to the ball. 2 or 3 Sanfrecce players. He has been the lucky charm, hasn't he, for Western Sydney, Lemino Haliti. We've been waiting for him to find the spark. And they'll get a free kick here, the Wanderers.
Well, there was the chance. Brilliant work from Shinji Ono down the right-hand side. Cut it back, and Lemino Haliti's got his hands on his head. He knows what a chance that was, but what about the defending twice from Shiatani?
Well, Tony Popovic makes his first change. Off comes Anthony Golek, on comes Shannon Cole. Here's another look at that moment for Lemino Haliti.
Look at Shinji Ono, how well he does here. Little space, he cuts this back. Shiatani misses it the first time, then a block from Shiatani. Watch him come again, Shiatani. 2 blocks. Haliti, in spite of that courageous defending, will feel he should have done better.
In it comes from Ono. Decent height on it as well. That's great defending from Takahagi, the number 10 for Sanfrecce. Awkward ball to deal with, but he did ever so well. Lovely whip on the ball from Shinji Ono. Now Beecham. Well, these opportunities for Western Sydney have brought their 12th man, the crowd, back into the game. A bit more noise now coming from the RBB. Hollins. Ono, very prominent for the Wanderers. Now Hersey in behind Mizumoto. Another corner for the Wanderers.
That's the urgency required. Hersey coming across, sharp into that ball, shepherding it. Corner, Shinji Ono will take it again. They've got Sanfrecce on the back foot here. Need to take advantage of it.
It's the outswinger from Ono. Free header! Well, Jacopo La Rocca, what a moment that was for the Italian. That should be 1-0 Western Sydney.
Absolutely.
And Tony Popovic knows it.
Fantastic delivery. Keeper comes and stops, and it's a free header. Central on the edge of the 6-yard box. Quite simple. You keep that down, you score. That's a terrible miss from La Rocca.
Oh, you'd back Tony Popovic to have buried that one. A strong header of the ball during his playing days. Jacopo La Rocca. Deary, deary me. Here's Yusuf Hersey. Here's La Rocca. He'll be keen to redeem himself. Out comes Hayashi, the keeper, who could only stand and hope then when La Rocca's header cleared the frame of the goal. Determined to play out Sanfrecce. Here's Shiatani. There's that run off the ball, just a little check from Ishihara. There was that pass from Shiatani, so it's still a tactic to be used by Sanfrecce in this second half. Hersey given time and space to turn. Cuts inside Shibasaki. Here's Santalab.
Oh, it's good play from Yusuf Hersey. Found the feet of Santalab as well.
Ono pulling all the strings at the moment, Shinji Ono. Here he is, Ono. Still Ono to the byline. Clips it back post. Chance here for Western Sydney. Shannon Cole! Off the bench, Shannon Cole has given Western Sydney the lifeline.
Well, the architect Shinji Ono, and the pressure has paid off. What about that for a finish from Shannon Cole? Here's the little ball. Hersey holds it up. Think he might shoot. Hangs this to the back post. Cashel can only get the top of his head onto it. Look at that from Shannon Cole. Keeps his nerve. Puts his boot right through that on the volley. Crashed into the back of the net.
Well, we've said it before. We need to say it again. Shannon Cole certainly blessed with wonderful technique. We've seen another example here. That's a great change, as it's turned out, from Tony Popovic. But Shinji Ono, in the first 10 minutes of this second half, in what is his last appearance for Western Sydney Wanderers, has been imperious.
Well, everything's come through him. It looked like he'd overrun it, didn't he? He somehow managed to just hang it up to the back post, and they couldn't clear it properly. And Shannon Cole, wonderful technique, smashed it into the roof of the net.
Well, a tested character now for Sanfrecce. As we mentioned, their recent domestic form has been indifferent. So did this cross the line? No, not the whole of the ball, Robbie.
No.
And that is the crucial factor. The assistants got that right.
And that was genius, to slide in, the defender covering it, and he still lifted it to the back post, and there's the finish. Technically perfect, the volley from Shannon Cole. What a substitution from Tony Popovic, inspired.
Well, we said at the start of the broadcast, we hope this would be a special night in the Champions League for Western Sydney Wanderers. They've got the goal, they need a second. They can't concede, nothing's changed there. But that goal has certainly changed the atmosphere around Parramatta Stadium. Sanfrecce with the free kick. Mizumoto's volley straight into Ono. Full-blooded commitment from Labano Haliti. Takahagi looks for the Korean Sukpo. Now Aoyama. Shiotane. And there's a mistake from Sanfrecce under no pressure, an unforced error. Probably the first time in the game we've really seen that. They are rattled at the moment. Sanfrecce in from Hersey. Here's Ono, looks for Hersey again. He is absolutely everywhere at the moment, Shinji Ono. Now Trefiro, space for Cole. Heads towards the line up against Kashiwa, brings it back onto the right foot, Shannon Cole. Gets the overlap from Haliti, bends it in, great delivery, Hersey! Well, Western Sydney Wanderers should have their 2 goals, like Rocker's missed one, now Hersey's missed one. The flag was up, so it wouldn't have counted anyway, but gee, that's tight.
But he wasn't to know it, Hersey, either. The relief for him is that he was flagged for offside, but good work from Shannon Cole.
Offside position when Cole eventually played the ball, and that is close for me. Wanderers, wonderful response in this second half.
Oh, it's been absolutely brilliant. Just the urgency that shifted the ball quicker. And whereas they really couldn't upset this defensive structure of Sanfrecce in the first half, they pulled them everywhere in this opening period of the second half. They've got their tails up.
Ono, space for Shinji Ono. He's got Haliti coming in off that left side. Still going, Ono. Still going. The shot came from, of all people, Matt Sporanovic, who got himself forward. And it's another corner for Western Sydney, just to ramp up the pressure.
And look at the awareness of Shinji Ono. Comes in, a lot of bodies, just spins. Plays a perfect ball for Sporanovic, and a bit of a shank, really, from the centre half, and he gets a corner.
There's been so much to Tony Popovic, despite his feelings, if you like, for Sanfrecce, where he spent 5 happy seasons as a player. Ono's corner goes near post. A flick on from Sporanovic.
A good delivery again from Shinji Ono. Just got a bit too much on this. Sporanovic just needed to glance this. Ball whipped into the near post. Sporanovic in front of Shiotane. Just got too much on it.
Ishihara. 5 foot's the ruling from Matt Sporanovic, who can't continue his complaints, having already been cautioned. Half an hour remaining here at Parramatta. Finally, the Wanderers got the goal they were hoping for, and it is very, very much game on. Shiotane. Another error from Sanfrecce. Pollens. Shannon Cole, the goal scorer. Now, an underrated player for mine so often, Robbie, Shannon Cole. A very, I wouldn't say content squad player, but he's the sort of squad player who doesn't give the coach any grief at all. But whenever he gets an opportunity, he surprises so many people. That shouldn't be the case given how long he's been around.
He always does a great job, and you can see how much Tony Popovich thinks of him. He's always involved.
Got a glimpse earlier. Tommy Juric about to enter the fray. Shiatane dispossessed by La Rocca. He's finding those pockets, isn't he? Shinji looks for Hersey. Out comes the goalkeeper, Takuto Hayashi. Aoyama. They've got the numbers here on the overlap. Sanfrecce, they've got Kashiwa streaming forward on that right-hand side. Through the middle goes... It was the 24, Notsuda. Here's Yamagishi, who's caused Collins some problems.
Yeah, and he didn't really take that with a lot of confidence there, did he, Yamagishi?
Well, this is interesting. So it's Alini who makes way, not Santalab. But it will not be a change of formation by the looks of things. So Santalab will go out to the left-hand side. Robbie, are you as curious as I am to see the possibility of Juric and Santalab playing as the two up front?
Well, it's not something we're going to see.
No, I'm still curious though.
Well, looks like Santalab's gone out to the left-hand side to keep that same structure, 4-2-3-1.
Got the goal last week, of course, from the penalty spot, Tommy Juric.
But also that structure might change if they're still looking for that goal to the last 15 minutes or so.
Aoyama. Kashiwa comes inside, gets a metre or so on Trefiro, who blocks the space. Eventually, Takahagi to Kashiwa. Now, Takahagi again.
Certainly looked like a foul from here. Shannon Cole bundling into the back of Takahagi. Maybe the shoulder.
Shoulder to shoulder, that's the way the officials have seen it. Kovic. They've played themselves into trouble here, Western Sydney. Big trouble, but rescued eventually by Jacopo La Rocca. That looked to be a blatant nudge on Brendan Santalab. Having seen the goalkeeper a metre off his line, a rather optimistic attempt it was from just inside the Wanderers' half.
Yeah, from Mizumoto.
The temperature's rising here at Parramatta on a cold night in the AFC Champions League. Pollens. La Rocca. Percy. Pollens keeps it in. Drives in the ball. Shiatane's header just cleared the head of Shinji Ono. Cleaning up was La Rocca.
Shiatane just about on his own 6-yard box there.
Well, what's the referee ruled here? It's going to be a yellow card
to Takahagi.
Takahagi, who has killed his team. They were on the counter, but he tugged the shirt of his opponent there. Off the ball. Oh, he's just pushed Jason Trefiro out of the way. Is that obstruction, Robbie, from Jason Trefiro?
I think Takahagi was just trying to get him out of the way. I think Trefiro knew exactly what he was doing. Just halting his progress. I think the referee got that one wrong.
So not only did the Sanfrecce team miss out on the counter-attack, then they have to defend a set piece. Shiatane in front of Sporanovic. It's set up nicely here for Western Sydney. Percy He tangles with Yamagishi.
Get a case for a foul there, Hersey. Yamagishi not getting any of the ball. And you see this ball from Shiotani, Notsuda does well in the end. But those sort of balls, they're not haven't been quite as accurate in the second half as they were in the first half.
Sign of the energy and the commitment of the Wanderers letting up. Yamagishi. Poor delivery. Easily cut out by Sporanovic. Looks for the foul, Yamagishi, and gets it. He's made the moves, hasn't he, Tony Popovic? Making 2 substitutions. Haven't seen a response as yet from Hajime Moriyasu, the Sanfrecce coach. Started with, interestingly, an all-Japanese side in the first leg, Sanfrecce, and tonight they're only using 1 of their 4 imports in this match. No sign of the veteran and crowd favourite Michal Mikic, the Croatian, or their other 2 Korean imports. Here's Beecham. Looks for Juric, who goes to ground. Trying to get onto the crumbs with Brendan Santalab. The Wanderers have it back. Here's Trefiro, back to Cole. Got 3 in the middle. Absolutely outstanding in the grand final, Jacopo LaRocca. Hersey. Three against 1. That shows you the desperation of Western Sydney. It's a miscued clearance. Hersey puts himself in there. It's broken for Jerome Pollens. Still Pollens. Still Jerome Pollens. Gets it back post. Difficult for Santalab though. In there was Cole as well. And Hiroshima almost break through the energetic Yami, but the Wanderers have it back, and they've still got numbers forward. Here's Jacopo LaRocca. Now Hersey looking to work the 1-2 with Tommy Juric.
Yeah, it was on, a little bit unlucky, but great pressure and urgency from the Wanderers. Thought Pollens on the first time he beat Ishihara could have clipped that one, then there was just too much on it towards that back post.
Ishihara in front of Sporanovic. He needs to be careful, sitting on a card. Takahagi, now the dangerous Yamagishi. Chance here for Sanfrecce, and it was a wayward effort in the end.
From Sukho.
Wang Sukho, the Korean. hasn't been getting himself forward too much in this match.
Well, he found himself in a decent position, but you can see he just really lacked that conviction when he hit that ball. He never really believed he could score from there.
24-year-old Wang Suk-ho, who joined Sanfrecce 2 seasons ago, straight from university in Korea. As we've mentioned, off to the World Cup in Brazil. And a pretty impressive South Korean national team, you'd have to say. Half of those players now playing in Europe. A number of them in the Bundesliga. LaRocca. Ishihara making a nuisance of himself. That's his specialty. Takahagi. Yamagishi. Mizumoto. Back to Shiatani. He's turned it over. Hasn't had the happiest of second halves. Tsukasa Shiatani.
No, certainly not in his distribution, but defending he has. So often him that's got his foot or made the block or got his head to it.
Hollands. Fair challenge, well-timed challenge from Mizumoto. They're not quite getting on the counter in the same sort of numbers, at the same sort of pace as we saw in the second half of that first half. Sanfrecce Hiroshima. Yojiro Takahagi. Yamagishi played in. Away by Trefiro is Hersey, trying to control it with his chest. And look at the energy of Yojiro Takahagi to get back and clean up for Sanfrecce. Any signs, Robbie, that they might have weathered the storm, Sanfrecce?
Well, they're certainly taking a lot of steam out of it. They're probably having their best period here in the second half. Just got to keep their concentration. Disastrous now to concede one.
For a bloke, Yojiro Takahagi, Robbie, he was off on a stretcher in that first half with the medical stuff saying he needed to be substituted. It's been a pretty impressive recovery. He's the player over the free kick for Sanfrecce. In it comes. Kovic hesitates. Free header from Mizumoto. The flag was up for offside.
And he's relieved because
we saw that last-minute goal conceded by Western Sydney last week in very similar circumstances. Of course, if it had been 2-1 in Hiroshima instead of 3-1, the Wanderers would be looking pretty good right now. Will that prove to be the killer goal? That's the big question. Here's Shannon Cole, who scored a goal.
Well, you just get the feeling they're definitely going to get another chance, the Wanderers.
LaRocca, now Shinji Ono. Had a little bit of a breather in the last 5 minutes. He'll come again, though. Holland's been much more prominent in the second half. Tommy Juric, snapshot just over the bar.
He's unlucky. That's a brilliant turn from Juric. Not much space to to move into, but he managed the swivel. Good ball from LaRocca. First touch, able to on the half turn. He spins well, just can't keep it down. Just rising over that crossbar.
We talked about the bounce that Matt Sporanovic would have got from being named in that Socceroos squad today. What about Tommy Juric? Conversely, Robbie, cooking, angry, disappointed that he wasn't in this selection. Shinji Ono, Shannon Cole. Back to Ono, now LaRocca. Sporanovic, look how high the two central defenders are when the Wanderers are in possession. Takahagi. Shibasaki. Lovely ball to play in Takahagi. Came from Aoyama. Ball spins for Supo. Now Kashiwa. Aoyama. Ishihara. Sanfrecce, they worked it wide to Yamagishi. Who's bobbed up on the left-hand side. The player has been playing right back for most of the game. Kwang Sukho. Is that total football? Yamagishi. Well, he's not going to die wondering. Tony Popovic about to make his third and final changes. Hajime Moriyasu makes his first. Going to be Takuma Asano, a forward on for Yojiro Takahagi, who has been battered and bruised, if you like. He gets a well-earned rest. Yamagishi goes for goal. Hits the back of his own player, Ishihara. Retake the goal kick because the Wanderers will make their change, and a warm applause for Jason Trefiro.
Yeah, very solid match. Jason Trefiro lets Tony Popovic down, but I think you're going to get your wish, Michael. Santalab and Juric up front together now.
Interesting. Tony Popovic forced in some ways, but brave enough in others to fiddle a little bit with that formation. So it is all-out attack from Western Sydney. Now you've got Hersey on the right wing, Guabina Apia on the left. You've got Santalab and Juric through the middle. In behind is Shinji Ono. It's almost a back two for Western Sydney. Sporanovic and Beecham. Cole is high, Pollens is high. Very, very attacking now from Western Sydney Wanderers as we head towards the final 10 minutes of this fascinating AFC Champions League match. Juric, down he goes. Can Sanfrecce make something of the spaces now at the other end of the park? Down goes the substitute, Takuma Asano.
Yeah, he's looking for a foul. He's not going to get one now. Wanderers going to come straight back up the field. As you said, Shannon Cole's high and wide. Shinji Ono a little bit deeper now with the departure of Trefiro. There he is on the ball. I want to see him get as high as possible. Apia will provide energy down that left-hand side as we come up to the final 10 minutes. Can the Wanderers find a second?
Here is Ono. Now Beecham. Nutmeg there from Jerome Pollens. He's blocked off. That's a free kick for Western Sydney. It came from Takuma Asano, the substitute, the infringement.
A very good second up. In fact, a very good game from Pollens at right fullback.
Well, the reaction from Hajime Moriyasu to the Wanderers' tactical adjustments is to bring on a defender, Kazuchiba, who's the only player who was relegated to the bench, or dropped, if you like, for this match. He's about to replace, well, it's got 32 up there, but that's the wrong number. We believe it might be Yamagishi. We'll have to wait and see. In from Shinji Ono. Lovely delivery. The overhead, the header, spectacular from Western Sydney. Some of the crowd think that's in. It's gone wide of the post. It's hit the side netting from Yusuf Hersey. Well, Robbie, you got a bit excited there as well.
He's missed an absolute sitter. This is brilliant across. It's an empty goal. He must score there. Yusuf Hersey. He dives at it. Wow. That was the one. Will they get another chance as good as that? Brilliant delivery from Shinji Ono. The overhead from Juric back across the face of goal. Look at this. It's an empty net. Hersey diving in. Yeah, he's stretching a bit.
Stretch, a bit harder than perhaps. It wasn't that easy, but he should have buried it, Robbie. I'm with you, but I'll be a little bit kinder, if you like. Chiba on for Sanfrecce. Yamagishi also a defender on for an attacking player, nominally for Sanfrecce, who want to keep hold of what they've got, which is a place in the last 8 for the first time in their history. Hersey gets the better of Asano.
Well, that's where the attacking threats come mostly down this right-hand side, and Hersey, for me, it was an unbelievable miss, but he has been very good in his general all-round play this evening. He's always been positive, looked to attack his defender at every opportunity.
Good news, Robbie, as well for that decision by Popovic to empty his bench. It means that we're going to see Shinji Ono see out the match, and so often he has been taken off late in games.
Well, he's been the best player for the Wanderers, for me.
LaRocca.
Well, they're not interested. Sanfrecce just completely camped right on the edge of the 18-yard box. That's the easy one for the keeper. That's the wrong type of ball.
The Wanderers 1 goal away from what would be a famous victory here at Parramatta. 7 minutes odd plus stoppages remaining. Have they got the goal in them? Here's Yusuf Hersey. He'd love to score in his last game for the Wanderers. No free kick, says the Bahraini referee. There comes Mizumoto.
Sporanovic has got that covered.
Looking for Notsuda, who's been virtually invisible in this second half. Here they come again. Wave after wave of attack for Western Sydney. Up here. Oh no. Looking for Juric. He gets in front, makes a nuisance of himself. There it is! There's the goal! It's Dreamland and Wonderland! Brendan Santalab! Incredible! Unbelievable! Fantastic! Have they done it? Western Sydney Wanderers!
Unbelievable scenes. The ball again that caused all the trouble was from Shinji Ono. Tommy Juric causing problem. They just got so deep, Sanfrecce. And what about the sniff from Santalab? And what about the finish? There's top. Look at there on top of their 6-yard box. Santalab just puts his boot right through that. He's packed some gunpowder into this. Santalab smash, nearly breaks the back of the net. Brilliant stuff from the Wanderers, and what they deserve.
Well, they were written off by so many people, Western Sydney Wanderers, but you never heard that from the coach, Tony Popovic. You never heard that from his players. He believed, they believed, and here we are. 5 minutes plus stoppages away from Western Sydney Wanderers progressing to the quarterfinals of the AFC Champions League in their first campaign in the ACL. Can they do it? Sanfrecce ripped to bits. Here's Kwabena Apia. They need to keep their heads now, Robbie. We haven't kept them up here in the commentary box.
Well, now it's the mindset, because now you're in front. You're not chasing that goal, but they know if they concede one, it'll be all over.
In behind, played by Collins.
Now they just need to keep the ball. Sanfrecce, have they got it in them? They look very tired. What a famous victory this would be.
Well, of course, Sanfrecce did lose in their previous match in Australia in the group stage against Central Coast Mariners. That seems like a long, long time ago. They finished second in the group. The Wanderers, of course, topped their group. Jermaine Moriyasu, who's been calm, cool and collected until that moment. Collins. I hate to remind the Wanderers supporters watching, Robbie, but it was a similar situation in terms of the result in the grand final. 5 to go against Brisbane Roar. Have they learnt some lessons? Kwabena Apia. Free kick, Sanfrecce. Final substitution from the visitors.
Well, it's going to be their turn to throw everything forward.
It's Kawabi Hayao on to replace Gakuto Lotsura, who, as I mentioned, was peripheral in this second half.
Well, Sanfrecce have just been out-muscled, out-thought in this, and out-fought in this second half, and there's been a lot of quality to it as well. And how are we going to miss this guy? Shinji Ono has been imperial in this second half. Absolutely superb from him.
In case you are wondering why we keep talking about these players that are leaving for Western Sydney, the quarterfinals won't be played until August, and by that time they will, of course, be at their new clubs. Tony Popovich will have brought in new faces if that's what happens. You can change your squad after this round of matches.
I'll tell you what, the 3 players that are departing, we certainly know of, Percy, Pollins and Shinji Ono, have all been magnificent this evening.
Sanfrecce looking for the goal that will kill it off for the Wanderers. All of a sudden they've found some purpose, Sanfrecce. Kashiwa will be given the ball by his captain, Aoyama. Down goes Apia, and he gets a free kick. What a popular decision that is here at Parramatta. And a yellow card for the skipper, Aoyama.
Yeah, he just caught him as he was skipping away from him.
Well, he is quick, isn't he, Kwabena Apia?
There you go, catches him there.
The reaction was rather delayed, but
got the desired result. I'd probably safely say that he saw he was never going to get that ball.
1 minute of normal time remaining. The noise is deafening. Juric underneath it, gets some contact. Ayashi, the goalkeeper for Sanfrecce, wants to get it forward quickly. Shibasaki. Ishihara. Suko, strong challenge from Pollins. Sandlab goes to ground, nudged off it, free kick Western Sydney. That's pure frustration from Sanfrecce.
Aoyama was probably favourite to get that, but it was just too strong, the challenge. Sandlab didn't feel him coming in behind, didn't have that little look, so he didn't know Aoyama was coming in on him.
Well, he won't be happy when he sees this, Tony Popovich, the 4th official, about to put up 5 minutes of time added on. It Listen to the reaction of the crowd. 5 minutes of torture in many ways for Western Sydney Wanderers and their supporters.
Tony Popovich just had a sly grin turning back towards the bench.
Tell you what, Robbie, I reckon a few people down at Church Street have heard about this and have come in late and the gates have been open. This crowd has swelled in the last little while. Why wouldn't you? This could be a memorable night, not just for the Wanderers, but for the A-League as well, of course. Here's Hersey. Only Adelaide United, they did it twice and made it past this stage of the AFC Champions League. They have a corner, the Wanderers. They'll be in no particular hurry to take it. Hersey goes short. Hollins gets another corner. 1 minute has been eaten up. 4 to go. He's done it again, Jerome Collins. No dividend for Collins. The Sanfrecce player clever enough to jump out of the way. Shibasaki. Space here for the substitute, Asano. Tracking back was Santalan. Here's Juric, needs to keep possession, can't do it. He's given it away. Mistake there from Ono. Chance here for Sanfrecce. And crucial defending from Michael Beecham.
Oh, just enough in the nick of time.
Still keeping a cool head, the Western Sydney captain. It's a rare error from Shinji Ono. Look at the intent, desperation, energy from Michael Beecham. Shiotano. Aoyama. Shiotano goes for goal. He screwed it across the face.
It just opened up a little bit for him. Took it upon himself, Shiotani. Probably been Sanfrecce's best this evening.
Well, look at the tension written all over the faces of those Western Sydney Wanderers supporters. They just want that whistle to go from the Bahraini referee, Nawaf Abdullah. We won't hear it with the noise they're making. Tell you what, they talk about the atmosphere at Parramatta, Robbie. It's not the biggest crowd we've seen, but for mine, this is the most noise I've heard at Parramatta. The supporters doing their bit. Tommy Juric. Still Tommy Juric. Here goes Apia. Down he goes. The referee says no penalty. He was perfectly positioned, had a good long look at it. Robina Apia goes to ground inside the box. Well, Ishihara climbs into the back of his opponent.
Well, there wasn't much appealing either, so the referee did get that right.
Hersey tired. Yusuf Hersey tried to intercept that ball with his hands of all things. Keeper came out to collect. Ishihara, the substitute. Well, this is back up. Wang Suk-ho. Danger here for Western Sydney. Spironets with a desperate tackle. Suk-ho again.
Well, they got their hearts in their mouths. It's all. I think it's all over. It's not yet.
Lumped forward. The knockdown. Kovac will leave that for a goal kick.
Wow.
We're inside the last few seconds. Take a deep breath. Remember this.
This is the last chance. Tremendous, desperate defending.
Matt Sporanovic it was.
Hats off to the Wanderers. What a fantastic performance. Tony Popovic has got exactly right with his substitutions. They thoroughly deserve this, and they're going to get it.
The whistle in the mouth of the referee, and there it is. Well, this is one of those nights when you can say you were there. You were there when Western Sydney Wanderers defied the odds. They've made some magic here at Parramatta. They are through to the last 8 of the AFC Champions League. They got the result they wanted. What a performance this was from the Wanderers. Just the second club from the A-League through to the quarterfinals of Asia's premier club competition. Fantastic stuff. Unbelievable stuff. Heartbreak for Sanfrecce Hiroshima, but Robbie Slater, what a night this was.
Oh, I think you summed it up. It was hearts in the mouths, poised, 0-0 at half-time, and you knew if they got one, you knew the momentum would grow, and the 12th man, the crowd just brought them home. The noise has been deafening, and they just showed the urgency. They lifted the tempo, and in Shinji Ono, they had an outstanding performer on the night, and they broke the backs and they penned the Japanese, the J-League champions, back in their own half, and they got their rewards.
Well, he arrived as a superstar, Shinji Ono, but he leaves as an absolute champion. What a fantastic effort from him. He's been voted man of the match. That's no surprise. And Tony Popovic, hats off to him. He made the bold changes in the second half. He brought on the substitutes. He tweaked his formation. And Western Sydney Wanderers got their reward. Sanfrecce devastated, disappointed, disillusioned. They were good in the first half. They just couldn't cope in the second. Full time here at Parramatta. Look at that scoreline. Western Sydney Wanderers 2, Sanfrecce Hiroshima 0.
Outstanding achievement from the Western Sydney Wanderers, just the second Australian club and the third team to make the quarterfinals of the Asian Champions League. Doesn't happen that often. We've been going for a few years since the A-League got invented the year after. Obviously, we started with the Asian Champions League from an Australian perspective, but the Wanderers take it up to a level we've only seen from Adelaide United before. Mark Bosnich, Sasha Ognenovski here to analyse what we've just seen. Are you excited, guys?
Fantastic.
As Mike Cockrell was excited and Robbie Slater as well.
I don't think anyone can get as excited as Mike. Mike sounds like he was calling the game from the RBB. but that was fantastic. Yeah. Thoroughly deserved their win, but boy, did they give us some real hairy moments right towards the end. I'll tell you what, Matthew Sporanovic, Michael Beach, and those two tackles were absolutely outstanding. Really, really were, but fantastic. Really, really happy for the boys. Great way to come back after losing the grand final, then losing 3-1 away to Sanfrecce. They said they could do it. They did it. Well done.
Sash, how big was that coming from behind? OK, they're playing at home. You've played at the highest level in this competition so many times. How difficult was that task to achieve for the Wanderers tonight?
It was, but they've done it perfect. Popper made all the right changes at the right times. He takes off Golet, puts on Shannon Cole, scores a goal. Right. Puts on Tommy Urich, made himself a nuisance. They couldn't do it with the long balls. He makes himself a nuisance for the second goal. And Sanderlab comes on and finishes.
And Appiah done well as well when he came on as well.
Yes.
A fair play as well to Tony Popovic at the end there. There's three big players we know who are leaving the club. There could be more, of course, but the three players he waited for, he didn't get carried away with the crowd and everything like that. Ono, Percy and Polens all went over to him and you could see he was really appreciative of the absolute all they gave this evening.
Not only what they've given this season, they've been absolutely fantastic for him. You know, 2 seasons, 2 grand finals, 1 premiers, played minor premiers last season, and now into the last 8, their first attempt into the Asian Champions. They've just beaten the 2-time Japanese champions, Sanfrecce, you know, it would be mutual respect and admiration. Look, sometimes in football, things happen for reasons that are not in your control, regardless of how well you perform. Unfortunately, in our league, we have a salary cap, and when you do perform well, you deserve to be rewarded. Unfortunately, with the salary cap, if you reward somebody, that means somebody else has to suffer. It's very, very difficult juggling act at the moment. But those 3 players have done him proud and done themselves proud. They were absolutely fantastic this evening. And like I said, thoroughly deserved victory. They had some right chances to finish it off. Hersey with those 2 headers. I'm not so sure you would embrace Hersey if they'd only won 1-0. but the bottom line is that they're into the last 8, and it's a really good achievement. Great for those people of the west of Sydney as well, who have supported them so well over 2 seasons, and were really disappointed after the grand final.
Just a few facts going forward for the Western Sydney Wanderers, obviously through to the quarterfinals, and they don't take place until August 19, 20, and the second leg August 27 or 26. Now they'll play, it'll stay in the East Asian zone, who they'll play in the last 8, so it's essentially as one of 4 teams. Pohang Steelers, the very good Korean side, Guangzhou Evergrande, the defending champions, and either FC Seoul or Kawasaki Frontale. FC Seoul going into the second leg led 3-2, and that second leg is at home. So you'd say FC Seoul will move through.
Yeah, if Kawasaki go out, there'll be no Japanese teams in the last 8.
Exactly, and the draw is done on May 28. So we'll find out in a couple of weeks' time who exactly they will play in those quarterfinals in August. Of course, we'll have those matches on Fox Sports here, but let's recap on the goals as well, Sash. The second half was different. Sanfrecce just seemed, was it maybe a natural thing, or was it the pressure that the Wanderers were putting on them? Bless you,
Excuse me.
That they were dropping deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, they were. It was akin to what the Australian teams were doing against the Japanese teams early. It's a delightful ball to the back stick, and this is just a cool finish.
Wow.
You know, controlled it, didn't panic, and put it in the back of the net. No keeper would have saved that.
No. A fantastic change by Tony Popovic. You know, I had a little bit of a go at him for not having a central defender on the bench in the grand final, but in this game, fantastic. The 3 substitutions, like Sasha said, right players at the right time. It's a massive thing for a coach when he does that.
Especially when you consider Adam Depuzo was also on the bench tonight, the recognised left back for him, and he chucked in Cole anyway to come on for
he knew he needed goals,
yeah.
So but it was the right choice to make at the right time, and they were causing a lot of havoc down Sanfrecce's right-hand side. And this is, look, see, fantastic play by Shinji Ono. He realises, he knows Japanese teams like the back of their hand. He could see they were struggling, they were going deeper and deeper with crosses. Sash, how many times we were saying, put that ball back in the box, that they're really struggling?
Crosses. That's on the penalty spot.
And Juric is
rebound, a second rebound, and a goal.
And you said it at half-time, Sasha, he's a handful, Juric, in the air. They're not going to be able to handle him. But by this stage, we thought maybe they'd seen themselves through, because they had a real rocky patch, Sanfrecce, after they conceded that goal. And great finish by Santalab to make it 2-0. And then we had those hairy moments at the end, I tell you.
Oh, my goodness.
Sporanovic and Beecham, absolutely outstanding.
Back to live pitches now, and it's the last time a lot of these players will do that in front of the Western Sydney Wanderers fans. But what a way to go. If you're going to go somewhere and leave, and because obviously the seasons fall the way they do here in Australia, as in comparison to the rest of Asia mainly, and the fact that the Asian Champions League is a calendar year competition, not over the summer that we are. So Shinji's the main man. He's out of here in a couple of weeks' time.
Best player in the park tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. Robbie Slater said it in commentary. He was spot on. He run the game from the middle of the park. Popper brought him a little bit deeper in the second half, which I thought was a good move as well.
When he changed over Trafira,
yes,
he brought him in.
So he could start conducting from a little bit deeper, but he was absolutely outstanding. And they had chances, you know. Hersey's 2 headers, only he'll know how he missed them too. But they deserved their victory, and well done to them on the first season to be in the last 8 of that Asian Champions League. It's so important for the A-League to have a team go on and win it. So still a long way to go before that, but so far so good.
Yeah, what do you do now, Sash? I mean, you've made the quarterfinals, but you've got this big break. You've got 3 months before you play the quarterfinals. It's a kind of odd situation, but having been through it before, how do you deal with it?
It is, and it's an odd situation also because you're going to lose, obviously, players like Hersey, Pollens, and Shinji Ono. So the recruits that come in, you know, have to be as good as those 3, and have the same impact and get used to the system that Tony Popovic likes to play. It's going to be difficult for them. Obviously, we're not going to be in season then. There will be the FFA Cup, but that's not obviously at the same level as, with no disrespect to anybody, it's not the same level as what the Asian Champions League is. So they're going to be a little bit out of competition. The other teams, the Koreans, the Japanese, they'll be in full swing. It'll be mid-season for them.
Will the Koreans? They obviously will. How long will their break be for the World Cups?
It's
Japan's got 2 months off.
Okay.
They're from the middle of May to the middle of July.
But the teams are training. The players that don't go will have 2 to 3 weeks off.
Okay.
So the clubs that, obviously the players that are staying in Japan, Korea, or wherever it may be, only have 2 weeks off and then they keep going.
Okay, so Wanderers players 2 or 3 weeks off and then start them up again?
Yeah, pretty much.
You have to give them, after a long season, probably at least,
I think so, especially because they made the run all the way to the finals and whatnot. I think 4 weeks is a good rest. And they got to come back in good nick. They can't come back and just have 4 weeks or nothing. They got to come back in good nick because there was not going to be too much of a pre-season for them to work on fitness. So they have to maintain their fitness even on their break.
Okay.
Perfect farewell for this fella tonight, Shinji Ono. Let's go to him now.
Well, Shinji Ono, congratulations. You're our man of the match. What a wonderful way to finish your career at Western Sydney.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't think this one, but I'm very happy to win the game. And yeah, I believe the team, and we believe us together, and that's why we have a good result tonight.
Yeah, before the game, you predicted that result 2-0, didn't you? You must have had a lot of faith.
Yeah, actually, I want more, but yeah, it's enough. Yeah, thank you.
What type of memories will you take away from Western Sydney?
Yeah, this is, you know, first memory for play to the Champions League and pass the group stage and the 16 as well. And we improve a lot, and yeah, we keep doing hard work, and I hope to win next round as well.
Shinji, how far can Western Sydney go in the Asian Champions League?
You know, I thought always I said this team is every day, every session improve a lot, and everyone want to get better. That's why, yeah.
And what about this crowd?
They make fantastic, incredible atmosphere tonight. Yeah, very. So I want to say thank you to them.
Wonderful stuff. Thank you very much, Shinji.
Thank you very much.
Good night for Shinji Ono and the Western Sydney Wanderers, I dare say, when they get to celebrate what they've just achieved, because the best thing for them is that they don't have a training session tomorrow or the next day or the day after that.
You don't know that. Yeah.
Well, Matthew Sporanovic does, but the rest of the boys, they can do as they please. Yeah. Just on Shinji Ono, how imperative, guys, is it that they replace him like for like in terms of this competition? Will they need someone like him in that quarter-final? Because good luck finding one, but they'll have to go and find one.
Well, how obvious do you want us to make it for you? Do you want to do another thanks scoop answer? If 10 out of 10 is imperative to replace him, then I'll give you a 12 out of 10. There you go. How's that? Yeah, there you go. But they don't come along every day, Shinji Ono's.
Yeah, exactly right. You might have to get another player for Popper, and he might have to knock you down
and
bring another one.
Michael and ask him how you feeling, buddy.
Been retired for 2 years, as big as a house, probably.
Is Frank Lampard re-signed? Maybe that might be one.
Oh, don't get involved. Don't get involved. Let's go back out at the ground here from Brendan Santalab.
Brendan Santalab, what an amazing finish. You must be over the moon.
Yeah, look, it's a great win. We all worked very hard this season for this, and our goal was to get through this round. We lost the grand final, and that was a massive disappointment. So to come out and win tonight is just massive for us.
All right, stop being modest. Tell me your thoughts when you scored the winner.
Oh, I was just hoping the ref would blow full time because I don't know how much petrol I had in the tank. But no, look, it's a special moment for a lot of the boys who are leaving us. You know, we don't know who's coming in, so it's going to be a big recruitment in the off-season. But, you know, a big thanks to our boys who are leaving the club. They're such a special bunch of boys. So.
Obviously, you lost the grand final straight off to Japan, then back here. Gee, you must be a resilient bunch.
Yeah, I think we've showed that throughout the year, that we have the character and the right attitude right to the end. And I think we proved that again tonight.
All of a sudden, you're into the quarterfinals of the Asian Champions League. How does that feel?
Oh, it's a special moment, like I said, for many people at our club who are leaving, for them especially, and for our amazing fans that turn up every week, that travelled to Brisbane for our grand final. I mean, they've been spectacular all year.
Santa, well done. Congratulations.
Cheers. Thank you.
He's good again, made a nuisance of himself tonight, and yeah, all those gambles worked the way they pushed forward, but that last 5 minutes, far out, Sash. That is the risk you take. It's not like you can score too early, but it leaves yourself open if you've got all these attacking weapons on the park at once.
The ideal scenario is to score in the 94th minute and the referee blows the whistle as soon as they kick off.
They kick off.
Yeah, but there was a few hairy moments at the end there. Spiro made an amazing tackle, so did Beecham.
Yeah. And that Shiatani shot just wide as well.
Just wide, but they held on. They kept their shape throughout the game. There were no mistakes in the game defensively, and they got their rewards at the end.
We'll have a look at those magnificent defensive feats in a moment. First, though, let's hear from the coach, Tony Popovic.
Well, Tony Popovic, you must be a very, very proud man this evening.
Yeah, extremely proud. You know, what a performance. You know, what a turnout. You know, on a Wednesday night. It's just been a great year, and you know, I'm really pleased for the players and our fans that you know we win something this year, and winning through this stage is a fantastic achievement. Great to send the players out on a high, the ones that are leaving, and you know, I'm just honoured to be head coach of this club.
Yeah, you mentioned the players that are leaving, and what a wonderful occasion for them to be sent out, especially 3 very popular players.
Yeah, extremely popular, and you saw what they gave tonight. You know, it's a very close unit. We understand the way football is, that players move on, but you know, they gave everything they had, and they love the club, we love them, and they'll always be remembered for what they've done here at this football club.
Returning to tonight's game, you made a lot of crucial changes, especially late in the second half. Did you ever lose faith?
No, I said yesterday I would not be surprised with these players that we can go through, and you know, they proved the quality that they have, and they were resilient when they had to be, and they showed their quality when they had to tonight, and you know, it was a deserved win.
Into the quarterfinals of the Asian Champions League, how far can you go?
I don't know, well, let me enjoy tonight with the players, and we'll have a good couple of days together, and well earned, great year, and whoever we get, it'll be fantastic for everyone here.
Tony, thank you, good man.
Thank you very much, thanks.
He might get a day off as well, although I doubt it. He'll probably be back in the office analysing the match tonight. And yeah, such a magnificent job that guy has done over the course of the last 2.5 years in charge of the Western Sydney Wanderers. Let's now have a look at the magnificent defensive feats later on, because you need this when you're up against it, and late on you don't know what the opposition will throw at you, but you know they'll throw something at you. You just got to throw yourself at the ball, Sash.
That was a tackle by Sporanic block. Sash, you take this away, mate. You've been in that position millions of times.
Yeah, look, he just threw himself at the ball, and that's what you got to do. You know, you can't risk it going to the goalkeeper. He spread himself. Shannon Cole was there in behind him as well. Yeah, great challenge, great block.
And Michael Beecham right before that as well. And Michael Beecham, we've got to pay a massive compliment to him. It must have been a terrible disappointment for him to sit out completely in the grand final. I thought he should have been on the bench. I thought his performances last season were excellent. He hasn't found himself to be a regular starter this season, which is another story altogether. But he was outstanding tonight. Made sure they kept a clean sheet. We said all along, keep a clean sheet tonight, they should win. That tackle that he made just beforehand was equally as important.
So here from another of the goal scorers right now, Shannon Cole.
Well, Shannon Cole, how does it feel scoring such an important goal in such an important time in an important game like that?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, scoring the goal, it doesn't really matter. The fact that we're going through is the only important thing. So to share such a special occasion with such a special bunch of boys is fantastic.
Does it show the depth of the squad and I guess the resilience of the squad that Tony can throw anyone on and the boys can have an impact straight away?
Yeah, and I think you see a lot of those boys, and I'll put myself in there as well, maybe probably wouldn't be considered first teamers, you know, when we first joined as a club, but I mean, such is the work ethic amongst all the boys that at any time anyone believes that we can come on and do the job, whether if it's starting or if it's coming off the bench.
A lot of people during the week didn't think you could come back from 3-1 down over in Japan, but you boys had a lot of faith, didn't you?
Yeah, it's what all the Hollywood films are made of. You've got to be down to make it dramatic in the end. So, you know, we came in tonight with the perfect scene set to do something special, and you know, the fans showed up again, which is, it's just a great night for everyone involved, isn't it?
Are you confident you can go further in the Asian Champions League?
I mean, you have to be. You know, we're the kind of team that we want to win every game that we play in. We want to do well in every competition. I mean, these guys are the champions of Japan, and you know, they've seen how hard it is to come to Parramatta, and it's going to be the same for any other team we face in the future.
Just going back to the goal, what was the feeling? You really thumped it, didn't you?
Hurry up, someone get the ball, let's go. Yeah, no, you know, it happens in a split second. It's, I mean, I'm not going to talk like I'm like I'm Ronaldo or anything. Just happy to, you know, put it in the back of the net and get on with it.
Beautiful stuff. Shannon, well done, mate.
Thanks a lot. Good on you.
He's put his foot through it, basically.
He wasn't worried about the goal.
No, that's what he can do.
By the way, the referee was fantastic tonight.
Yes.
A big word for him. Nawaf Shikawa, I think it was, from Bahrain. Has I got that right, Adam?
Just about.
Yeah, well, yeah. Fantastic.
He was really good.
Yeah, he let it play, let it flow and everything like that, and didn't take any crap from anyone on the pitch, which was good to see. Shinji Ono, back to him again, and just the influence he had on this match alone. We're bigging him up because it's magnificent, and he's had a fantastic career with the Western Sydney Wanderers, and he's leaving, of course, but that 90 minutes, where did you put it from him?
Oh, look, he gave everything. He gave everything. He always wanted the ball. He was running into those spaces that he loves to run in to receive the ball. The first half, some of the passes weren't working. We spoke about that at half time, and they were defending with a lot of numbers. And in the second half, when they put him under the pump, Shinji was in the middle of everything. He was spreading the ball, getting the ball turning out wide. He dinked that beautiful little pass into Tommy Juric for the second goal. And this little chip,
it was very similar. He wasn't.
Yeah, the little chip over to the back stick when Shannon Cole scored the goal as well. Yeah, instrumental in everything they done tonight, and congratulations to him. He got his fairy tale send off. He's going back to Japan to play there now, and he'll leave Australia a happy and content man.
Bozza?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. We spoke about him before the game. He lived up to that and more tonight, and showed his qualities as a player, and he showed his qualities as a man as well. He's much loved, and I'll go one step further to say that Tony Popovich said he's much loved by everybody here and always will be welcome back to the west of Sydney, and the people love him there. And he really has added. If you're talking about marquees, when you want to get marquees, as our league matures, you want to get marquees now, they're going to add something to the league. Well, he definitely added something to the league, along with Emil Heskey and Alessandro Del Piero. But tonight was Shinji's night. Deservedly man of the match, the best player in the park by far. And tonight really left something in our memory that we can always remember him by.
Exactly. Now, coming up, obviously, the Western Sydney Wanderers, they get a few months off before they're ripped into a bit of Champions League action. Still tonight, though, we've got more football. In just over an hour's time, we'll be live to Vietnam. Brenton Speed is standing by over there. Australia, the Matildas, up against Japan as we open up the 2014 Women's Asian Cup. Hopefully the girls can go back-to-back in that. They've got a tough ask in the group stages. They've got 3 matches in 6 days. They don't muck around in the Women's Asian Cup. And then we've got the Socceroos, the farewell match, Australia v South Africa, live and exclusive here on Fox Sports, 7 p.m. Eastern on Monday week. So we're looking forward to that from ANZ Stadium. So the football rolls on, gentlemen. It goes on and on.
Yes, it does. And there's the Europa League final tomorrow morning, isn't it, Adam? And La Liga this weekend, plus the FA Cup final. The league is like a grand final. Atletico Madrid versus Barcelona at the Camp Nou, or New Camp, whatever you want to call it. And the FA Cup final, Arsenal versus...
Oh.
Just testing, buddy.
No, he wasn't. Boys, that's about it for us for the Champions League for now. Sash, as I mentioned last week, been an absolute pleasure having you here throughout the Champions League coverage. You'll be right. You'll be mid-pre-season with Andrew Clark and Graham Arnold, so good luck with that. Yeah. But we'll hope to have you back for the...
I'll be coming in here droopy-eyed and tired and stuff.
That's all right. You got a few weeks having your time off. When? Before you start training again?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I live very close. If you got any spare time on a Saturday night.
How'd that bruise come up, by the way?
Very good.
He wasn't talking about exercise.
Well, you can call it exercise, I guess.
You got some exercise to do. Your car broke down this
afternoon.
Right, yes, that big beast of a thing that was in the paper a couple of weeks ago.
Very, very disappointing.
Tactical, because everyone knows you got that car, now you're going to get another one.
Very disappointed with that.
I'll see you soon.
See you soon, buddy. Oh, tomorrow night. I'm emceeing, aren't I, buddy? Oh, this is going to be funny.
I'm going along to critique 6.5. No, looking forward to that. It's for the Johnny Warren Foundation in Sydney, so we're raising money. Yes, bullet points, that's what you need to do. Look forward to seeing you there. Just calm down. Let me get off here and then you can go and practice. Thank you very much, boys. Thank you for your coverage. Company as well at home. We've enjoyed bringing you the Asian Champions League coverage. There's plenty more football to come. Don't forget the Matildas later on tonight and the Socceroos on Monday week. We'll catch you soon.